Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another unforgettable episode of Morning. Well, sometimes they are, Jimmy, sometimes they're forgettable. Not all the time, but sometimes they're actually forgettable. The times that, we got bad guests. Sometimes we got bad guests. Today we got a bunch of guests breaking it down on Mornings and Alive with Keith and Friends. And today we're going to get into why diet sodas might be messing with your hunger cues more than your waistline. Yep, there's a true story. And ever wondered what that hidden emotional layer behind hot wifing really was? Did I say hot wifing during the morning hook? I did talk about hot wifing. No, we're not talking about, it's the modern version of cuckolding. Yeah, true story. Stick around. We got some intriguing details coming up on the show this morning. We got Scott Fisk hanging out, coming up on the community corner. I got Darren Phillips coming up at 8:15 Eastern time. And I got Suresh. Suresh, I'm going to struggle with your last name, so I'm calling you Suresh for the show. We got Suresh joining us on the show today as well, coming up. And John Anderson's here, and the whole kit caboodle is going to happen this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Hey, listen, guys, this is a show that is all about helping you guys get your ass out of bed. This is a show that's all about helping you guys not hit the snooze button. You know, you hit that snooze button, you're 9 minutes behind the guy who didn't. There's a true story for you today. You do it 5 days in a week, you're 45 minutes behind the guy that does it. Yeah, there you go. So you want to win? Get up, get after it, and get after those big, audacious goals. Good morning, Lady Drew. I see you there in the comments. And Johnny, I see you hanging out there as well. Jimmy, let's bring the young man into the lab and get this show on the road today. The red hat, the focus. Looks like he's back in California. Johnny, are you back in California?
Dude, I've learned how to literally just snap my fingers and travel in time.
What the hell's going on?
No. I've got myself the professional setup down here. So I've got. See if I think if I move this a little closer,
dude.
Boom, there's the microphone.
Oh yeah, but that's not what it was.
I have the setup because that way when I'm doing, like when I'm here, when my house in Mexico, I had the setup was so subpar, it just wasn't right to the big shows I go on. They were like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, like chop, man.
Just wait till you get back to your other house where you got the good setup.
That's right. What's up, Jay Sheldon? I see you there in the comments. Good morning. Welcome to Morning to the Live with Keith and Friends. You got me and John Anderson here this morning. Okay, this is a live show. We get after it every single day here, 8 o'clock Eastern time, LinkedIn, YouTube, and X, as well as Substack. Johnny's joining me all the way from Mexico today. We got a bunch of guests hanging out in the lab here this morning. Johnny, how was the day yesterday, pal? Did you win?
Good, man. It was really good. What's that?
Did you win? I know you won. How did you win yesterday? How was your day? How was your winning day yesterday?
It was a great day, although I didn't really make any progress with Facebook, which kind of.
Oh, I was wondering actually.
Jesus Christ, yeah. But I had a great workout. It was overall a great day.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I did too. I actually, it's funny. I had a meeting with one of our guests yesterday, Lillian Santini, at the end of the day, and I said, "How was your afternoon?" She goes, "I had a nap before our meeting." I said, "So did I." It's like, "Yeah." I go, "Yeah," and I said, "I'm glad we're talking about it because nobody talks about this." Everybody gets oh, you had a nap, oh, you lazy son of a bitch. No, not really, actually. Because here's the thing. I'm thinking, Johnny, most humans will go chase the caffeine in the late afternoon. No. Your body's telling you it wants a nap. Your body is saying go lay down. I'm not saying go for an 8-hour sleep. Johnny, I crushed 20 minutes. I got up. I felt like a fucking $1 million.
Well, and see, the thing is most people, oh, you lazy bastard, you took a nap.
Yeah.
They think that you get up the same time as them.
Yeah. Yes.
No,
whatever.
I get fucking by the time I've taken a fucking nap, I've done more than fucking most everybody on the planet.
I have some people that say, "So Keith, what time does your day start?" Well, my day starts at 3:45, and so I get all my shit done, do the show, do the gym, do some post-show production, and then I start my business day. They look at me like, "What?" I go, "Yeah, I got a business I'm growing here. I start my business day around 11, 12 o'clock." I'm like, "But you've already worked a full day." I go, "Yeah. Now I'm working until 8, 9 o'clock till I go to bed again." So that's just how the routine works, man. I got a business to build, brother. And along the way, I might just take a little nap along the way.
Yeah. I mean, by the time most people wake up, shit, I've already had a couple of workouts.
Yeah.
It's just a different perspective of life.
Yes. Yeah. Johnny, got a couple things for the loop this morning that are somewhat fun. So these, what I'm going to share with you right now always make me laugh inside. Because humans are always looking for a shortcut. We know this. Shortcut.
What, when you say laugh inside, does that mean you don't let it go outside? You only laugh internally?
That's exactly. Yeah, it's laugh inside.
I just want to make sure I understood what the definition was.
Yeah, because I know the truth around all these things. Well, and listen, that's talking like I'm some arrogant son of a bitch. And that's not what I'm trying to. Oh, by the way, guys, this is an R-rated show, so we might drop some words around here that the kids might be offended by. I didn't drop that in the opener here. Put the headphones on the kids. But Johnny, humans are always looking for shortcuts, and so they're like, hey, so how many minutes should I work out today, Johnny, so I can live longer? Or how many minutes should I do this so I can do this? Or what should I? Are they always looking for shortcuts? Well, guys, what if I told you, and here we go, what if I told you that just 11 minutes a day, yes, I'm so embarrassed to even bring this up, but I'm going to bring it up anyways. Only 75 minutes a week could reduce a man's risk of heart disease, well, humans, risk of heart disease, cancer, and even premature death. Now, a meta-analysis, Johnny, this is a pretty big one, actually, of data of over 30 million people. Yeah. So basically Canada found that 75 minutes of moderate exercise weekly reduces heart disease by 17%, premature death risk by 23%, and cancer risk by 7%. And this is half the commonly recommended 150 minutes per week. And yet the health payoff is disproportionately large. So the reality is, guys, just getting up and getting after it, even hitting these minimums that I'm telling you right now can drop cardiovascular mortality by up to 31%. So, if we're all looking for reasons and excuses to not get after it, Keith and Johnny are dropping you things every single day, right? And maybe you don't want to do 30 minutes today right now, then break it up in 3 10-minute sessions, and there's your 30 minutes. Break your 75 minutes into small sessions, habit stack here, habit stack there. But guys, there's just, continuing evidence that we got to get up, get after it, and you'll live longer. Johnny?
It's a little bit, it's I guess what I would just try to say and be nice when I say it.
Yes.
So much more fucking simple than, we don't need all this fucking direction and all this fucking science. We just look at look at the human body, look how it was designed, and use it kind of in the way it was designed. We weren't designed to sit in our asses all fucking day. If we sat in our asses all day, we'd have been fucking eating for lunch before we fucking turned. Literally, think about it. It just move a little bit, make some fucking sensible food decisions, and it should be pretty amazing what'll happen. The problem is that Big Pharma doesn't like that, and they're going to do whatever they can do to keep you on your ass and keep you sick.
Yeah, and the problem is that there's no shortcut in what you just suggested. You still got to put the time in. Yeah, everybody's, I saw your video on LinkedIn dropped a couple days ago. Oh, I got to go to the peptides. Oh, I got to go to the TRT. Oh, I got to add the detail here. Yeah, but you're still sitting on your ass half the time. Oh, well, what do you mean? I thought I could just do this and it's going to happen. No, actually.
100%. And I think the message that we want to send is, yes, you got to do it, but if you do it every day, it doesn't have to be much.
Yes.
If you were just to make sensible food decisions,
yep.
That doesn't really take much time. That just means, okay, I'm going to not eat the fucking Big Mac. I'm going to try to eat the sandwich, right? And I'm going to wake up and I'm going to go for a fucking 15-minute walk. You've probably curbed about 50 or 60% of your problems right there.
Yeah. And it's funny to hear you say that because it's just so obvious and simple.
And I'm speaking to the average American.
I know. I know.
People that are dormant, people that are Cheeto people.
That's right. Hey, I got Keith and John here on Morning Live with Keith Friends. We got Darren Phillips coming up here in a number of minutes. You're going to join us for Center Stage coming up. But Johnny, imagine a relationship where a wife openly explores sexual experiences with other partners with her husband's, there's my list this morning, with her husband's enthusiastic support. Welcome to the world.
There's a lot of people like that.
Dude, I learned a new tune here. I learned a new word here last week while I was building today's show. I think this word was kind of used, the old word was cuckolding. Now the word is called hot wifing or hot husbanding. And far from betrayal, this consensual dynamic is reshaping how some couples experience intimacy, trust, and sexual freedom. And Johnny, hot wifing challenges traditional ideas of monogamy and reveals the power of trust, communication, and erotic honesty in modern relationships. And for some couples, it doesn't tear the relationship apart. It makes it stronger. So what is hot wifing porn? We talked about porn a couple of weeks ago with one of our guests. Hot wifing porn depicts a consensual kink where a married woman has sexual encounters outside her marriage with her husband's knowledge and approval. The content office focuses on themes of arousal. And then there's hot cheating. I'm sorry, not cheating. It's called communication.
Well, so I got some input that I can put on this. Right?
I'd like to hear your input.
Some personal experience. So
do tell me.
There was a period of my life where, I was having lots of fun, let's say.
Yes.
And
I know.
So these situations that you're talking about were fairly regular, sometimes brought on by me, sometimes brought on by the chick.
The other part.
Yes. Yeah. And what I can say is it pretty much almost always worked out not the way you thought. I mean, don't get me wrong. The road to figuring that out was a lot of fucking fun. but
the way that you articulated that, it pretty much did not go the way that we were expecting it to go.
knowing now, but see, the thing about it is it's like, how would I say? It's like, it was a fucking blessing for me to figure that out early in my life.
Yes, I'm sure.
Because a lot of times, I mean, like perfect example, had I not figured that out, right, that would be a question mark in my mind, right?
Yes.
And God knows you try fucking men, we do some weirdo fucking shit to answer questions for ourselves. And sometimes you risk something that you shouldn't fucking risk.
Yes.
And so I was glad that I got my oldest brother. He's a cool cat, dude. Really fucking cool. He was a pro tennis player for a while. He actually played Boris Becker the year before.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to be real frank here, so I'm going to use a little bit of foul language. He came to me when I was still a pathetic little bastard, but he said, "Look, the time's going to come. The time's going to come where you're going to start going out and having fun." He says, "Listen to me. Get the fucking out of your system, because when the time comes when you find a good one, you need to have all those fucking questions answered."
Yes, and
it was very, very true. Because then when the time comes, when Terry came along,
you had it all.
It's like, fuck, man, it's all pink on the inside. No matter what color is on the outside, no matter how many of them there are in the room, they're all pink on the inside.
They're all pink on the inside. Yeah.
Well, I guess if we're talking about that whole, sometimes they're brown on the inside. It looks like if they got a little balloon knot in there, maybe it's going to be a different color on the inside.
So the difference of Jimmy over here, the difference from cuckolding is hot wifing and hot husbanding is while both involve extramarital sex. Cuckolding often involves power dynamics and humiliation. Hot wifing, however, is more about mutual excitement, pride, empowerment, trophies, especially regarding the wife's desirability. And Johnny, there's rising popularity in online communities with this. As sex positive narratives grow, and as we talk about it on the show all the time, because we know, guys, life expectancy work is important for not only our partners, but for ourselves. The more sex we're having, the longer we're living. As sex forms, as the narratives grow, so do forums, platforms, and content dedication to hot wifing. Dude, there are dedicated sites on Reddit, on Fetish Life that offer these real stories and advice, while adult platforms showcase dramatized versions. And then, Johnny, there's hot husbanding. And I'm thinking that's where you would go, man. Hot husbanding flips the script, where a wife consents to and is aroused by her bald husband's, that's my word, by her husband's sexual freedom.
Like perfect example, Terry's actually said to me at different points, she's like, look, I don't want this, but if for some reason we need to do this for you to be okay to stay in this relationship, because she's basically wanting to open the table to make sure that I'm not seeking something, which I thought was very, very bold of her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, babe, listen, I was like, hey, we're good.
Well, it's interesting you said because this gets to the consent part. Good time. I see your comments there, brother. Last few days, it doesn't show you're live till I click on your channel. I appreciate that. Good time. We'll look into it. That's awesome. And Jimmy, I see your note, buddy. Yeah, we're going to get to the accountability check-in in a couple minutes. And we got Darren Phillips joining us in a quick second. Johnny, you bring up Terry and yourself and just kind of some of the past. Well, the whole point as we close this up is setting boundaries together. And guys, before maybe exploring this kink with your partner, you know,
that's what she wanted to figure out early on what was going on. You know, this was not, you know, this wasn't deep in the relationship. This was like, okay, she's trying to understand where we are, where I am, you know what I mean?
That's right.
To have that conversation, you know, sometimes it's uncomfortable, but I thought it was very bold of her, very responsible of her.
That's right.
That's especially the way I was acting at that point in the relationship. I'm sure she thought something was fucking going on. You know?
Oh yeah. And Crystal and Kitty, I got some of my resources from OnlyFans as well, but I left that out of the discussion today. So I appreciate you hanging out this morning, Crestfallen. Sexual freedom doesn't have to mean chaos; it can mean clarity. Whether hot wifing is just a fantasy or something more. The deeper message, guys, is about couples redefining what honesty, arousal, and commitment mean to them. It's your relationship, your rules. So guys, you know, have that conversation with your partner and get after it and get into some hot wifing porn, hot wifing husbanding, hot wifing, you know, all the fun stuff that we can do with our lovely partners along the way. All right, Jimmy, let's get into the accountability check-in. I see your note, Jim.
Hey.
And yeah. No. I see you.
I was gonna say, let's have a little fun with our guests coming in, right? So we can see him down there in the green room. Darren, looking forward to meeting you, brother. But here's the bet. I'm gonna bet that what I can see about Darren, that he's wise enough to read the fucking instructions and he's got both browsers going. What's your bet?
Darren's ready to go, man. Yeah, Darren's ready to go. He's fucking ready, man.
This guy was gonna say, because it's half the problem with these dudes is they don't read the fucking instructions. I know. They get all caught up, and we bring them in, and they're Darren looks like he's got his shit together.
We have some guests that are like, I can't figure it out. Yet some guests are like, oh yeah, the instructions are really clear. No, the instructions are actually really clear.
You know what the fucking difference is? Because the people that can't figure it out, they're the motherfuckers that open up the coffee table from IKEA and try to put it together without reading the fucking instructions.
Yes.
And then Darren clearly opens the box and says, okay, let me read this motherfucker, because the 5 minutes it takes me to read is going to save me 2 hours putting it together.
That's it.
Darren,
exactly.
Give me a thumbs up if I'm right, brother. There we go. We
got Amy Reiner joining us in the comments, who says instructions are very clear. Good morning, Matt Rufi. Good morning, Lady Drew. Good morning, everybody. On Mornings in a Lab this morning, we're here for the accountability check, and Darren Phillips is coming up in less than a minute. Are you here to dabble, or are you here to live? Because guys, I've dabbled. I told myself I was in, but I actually wasn't. My energy was split. My priorities were soft, and the worst part, I knew it. Every time I half committed, I lost respect for myself, not because I failed, but because I knew I didn't go all in. Nope, I didn't go all in. Men crave momentum, but you don't get that by trying your best. You get it by bleeding for something, by putting your name on the line, by showing you when no one's clapping. Let's call it what it is. Dabbling, dabble, is avoiding what you don't want to do. It's dressed up as an effort. If you're going to compete. If you're going to build like it fucking matters, you guys. If you're going to live with your foot on the gas. Go all in or get out. Be bold enough to pick a lane. Stop playing defense with your own life, you guys. Too many of you are. Because dabblers, you die slowly. Mediocrity. And I'm not interested in slow death. Are you? If you're interested in slow death, hit the snooze button. If you're interested in slow death, go listen to another show. If you're interested in slow death, this is not the morning show for you. This is a show that's designed to get you guys get up and get after it and help you guys achieve those big, audacious goals. Guys, how do you go from counseling at-risk youth to creating a SaaS platform for hiring offshore contractors and writing a preschool book series on the side? Well, coming up, we got Darren Phillips, a man who turns chaos into systems and makes HR make sense. all while publishing bedtime stories. Welcome back to Center Stage, you guys. We got Darren Phillips coming up, who's a consultant, startup founder, and children's author. Yeah, all at once. The guy writes books for kids. He's also an HR guy. He's also a startup founder. What the hell? Where does he get all the time? From transforming HR teams at Fortune 500 companies to building tools for smarter hiring and launching a customer experience job board, Darren's career is anything but boring. And he just published his 10th preschool book. We're going to talk leadership, lazy hiring traps, and why you should hire for culture, not culture fit. Let's dive in. Let's bring in our first guest this morning, Darren Phillips. What's up, Phillips?
Good morning.
How are you, pal? I got you muted on the vertical there. No, there you go.
Oh,
there you go.
Okay.
How are you, buddy?
Good. How you doing this morning, Keith?
I got you. You are good. You are good. Yeah, I'm awesome, man. I'm awesome. I'm Rasta Kane. No, we're not doing hot dog talk with Darren this morning. Darren, we got a guest who wants. I'm sorry. We have a comment that is really encouraging us to have a hot dad talk with Darren. No, I think we're going to talk about a few other things this morning. Good morning, batshit crazy. What's
Darren,
up?
I swear to God, brother, when I saw you in the green, I was like, "That's a fucking horse I could bet on right there."
Yeah.
Thank you, John. Thank you very much.
Darren, so you're joining us from Florida today.
Excuse me.
You're joining us from Florida today.
Yeah, I live in Winter Garden, just north of Orlando, Florida. It's today's heat index is only going to be 40 Celsius, so I'm looking forward to my 5-mile hike today.
Nice.
5 miles every day. Got to get out there and experience the outdoors. Clears the mind and allows you to come up with new ideas.
Oh, I love that. So is that part of your morning routine, Darren? Or what does your morning routine look like, brother?
Yeah, my morning routine is get up around 6, and then I go around and make sure that the house is nice and clean. So when my wife wakes up, she's super happy, because if you wake up in a cluttered world, you feel cluttered all day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then I hit the road. Sometimes she wakes up to join me, but I go out and I walk 5 miles every single morning.
Beautiful, brother. I love that.
Nice, brother. Very nice. You know, you're like my twin brother, but instead of lifting weights, you went for walks.
That's it.
Yeah, I definitely don't have the same guns you've got. Not at all.
Johnny, so as you know, we're very selective with people we bring on the show here, and there's a reason we bring people on the show. And Darren, you know, it's not accident that I asked you on the show. I've been looking at your content, looking at your feed, and enjoying what you're putting out there. And Johnny, you're going to love what I say next, man, because this guy's drinking the same Kool-Aid you and I are drinking. Darren Phillips has a disdain for lazy people in the hiring process. Yeah.
Come on, man.
And clearly, Darren, it shows up often. You know, you're on this mission to kill this one-size-fits-all shortcut in in HR. And as I'm looking at your content and looking at your profile, you have this explain this idea of killing explain this idea of the disdain for lazy people in the hiring process. Talk about that, Darren.
So right now we're seeing like an escalation in the war between people who want a job and people who are the gatekeepers in companies. So you have recruiters, and there's really two kinds of recruiters. Like there's two kinds of people in almost every job. You got your hunters and you got your farmers. And the hunters are the people that are bringing these amazing and awesome people to your company because they're out there looking for the person that they know you need to fit the job that is open.
Yeah.
But 90% of the recruiters are farmers. They simply Google, find a job description for project manager, send it over to the hiring manager who doesn't have time to deal with this. They just need somebody in like yesterday to do this job. They approve it. They post it out on the internet, and then tons of resumes come in, and they use what's called an applicant tracking system that parses the resumes and gives everybody a score. And then they go, okay, hiring manager, here's the people that scored 95% or better. And for a long time, HR was running the game to make sure that they were the gatekeepers. But now people have AI. I grab that job description, I grab my resume, I dump them both into ChatGPT, Gemini, pick your poison, and out comes a resume with all the keywords. So all of a sudden you post a job, and within 24 hours, you got 800, 1,200 resumes, and they all have a really high fit.
Yeah.
So we need to get people to stop being lazy about this process, because it's just too darn important to make sure that you got the right people coming into your organization to do the right work at the right time, the right way, for the right reason. And so you got to get the hiring manager to do a little bit of work. They got to partner with this HR person and make sure this is what I really need. This is the objectives. These are the tasks. These are the skills, knowledge. This is what I need. And then we need to, on the candidate side, to get more validation, because you can, there's lies, there's damn lies. And then there's, my resume.
So Darren, teach John and I, and teach the founders that are out there hiring and looking for folks to help them build their business right now. You mentioned that AI is fueling a resume arms race. Yeah. So what should John, myself, other founders, other entrepreneurs, other business leaders, what should we be looking for to stay ahead of what's coming and what's in our inbox today?
So unfortunately, I'm a customer experience guy as well, and I hate this, but you have to put a little friction in the process.
Yeah.
So I believe you got to take the time to sit down and say, here's the objectives for the person I need to come in. This is what I need. My big, hairy, audacious goals, as you would put it, Keith.
Yes.
And then to achieve that, I have to think about what are the tasks I need this person to do. And I write those down. We've now spent about 5 minutes on this. And now I need to go back to every task and say, what are the competencies, the things that will make a person competent to do this task? What knowledge, what skills, what experiences, what innate abilities, like listening. Oh my God, don't get me started on trying to teach a class on listening. You got a room full of people that don't listen. You're wasting your time. That's something that you kind of have or you don't have. It doesn't change much over time. It doesn't develop much over time. So you got to look for people that have what I call price of admission competencies, the stuff that you're not going to teach them. Do they have that on their resume? And then put some questions out there. Here's the friction part. Go ahead and ask them, tell me about a time when you dealt with this. Tell me about a time when you dealt with that. Yeah. Have them write that up before you ever take the time to even go through the process of looking at the resumes. If they're not going to take the time to tell you why they're a good fit for this job, then you might even be dealing with a non-real person. You could be dealing with an AI application that somebody has paid $20 to have it apply to the job for them.
Oh yeah. Johnny.
Yeah, no, I love it, brother. I love it. Like I would say I probably have, when it comes to, interviewing, I would say I probably have the most interviewing with closers, people, salespeople. Right. Yeah. And because I want the right people, you don't want some hard closer, but either way, you can just ask them a few questions and, basically they're selling the experience if they're a good closer. Right. But here's the salesperson, what do you want to call them? Closer is kind of a tough word. People tend to not like that. That's an inside term, salesperson's better anyway. But I ask them a question. I just want to hear, are they going to sell the plane ride to the beach? Or are they going to sell the beach? So if their first thing is, well, I need to know, I'm looking for, they understand the outcome, right? So if they've got experience, they understand that they're selling the experience to the person of the actual, what they're going to achieve, how their life is going to be better. They're not going to sell that nasty plane ride, that 12-hour plane ride to the white sand beach. And if someone has experience, they know this. If they don't have experience and they've just basically say they've got experience, they're going to dive right in to try to sell the plane ride to the beach, so to speak.
Yeah, that's important, John, because you don't want to find out what they think they would do. You want to ask them, what did they actually do? You want to make sure that they've been there, they've done that, they got the T-shirt, right? In living color quote there. So they've got to be able to explain to you that I have done this. So don't ask them, what would you do if you face this situation? You need to ask them, tell me about a time when you faced this situation, because you don't want also your customers to be the victim of somebody who's trying to figure it out along the way.
Oh yeah, 100%. And that's it right there. Is it's protecting the potential customers is what I'm all about.
Yeah.
Darren, you're all about measurable impact. Keith and Johnny are. This show is. We're always trying to help our listeners, our customers, and folks we're working with, have measurable impact. Yeah. In all of your work, how do you, Darren Phillips, define making a measurable impact?
So It depends on what it is that I'm trying to accomplish, but I always start with the objectives, and I always try to map those out in a way that I have a specific goal. So when I go into an opportunity to help somebody out, I'm starting off with, let me understand where you are right now. And then I'm digging in and saying, how are you measuring that? And what are those numbers today? How are you measuring that? What are those numbers today? I ask that right up front, very early on, so that they know that I care about the things that they care about, because they're taking the time to measure it. And what gets measured gets managed, right?
Yeah.
The other thing is we have the Hawthorne effect.
Yes.
And I love the Hawthorne effect because simply by going in and starting to ask people around the company questions and telling them why I'm there and what I'm trying to do, everybody realizes, oh, they're onto me. I need to do my work.
To those that don't know the Hawthorne effect, can you define that for our audience?
Yeah, so the Hawthorne effect is whether you actually change physically anything going on in the workplace or not, things get better because you're paying attention to it. So when you start paying attention to folks who are doing a certain job and you're saying, I need to understand how you do this and why you do this, they all of a sudden start doing it the right way. Because over time, we all pick up a bunch of shortcuts and we all figure out how to make it easier and do things quickly. But then when somebody comes in from the outside and they are a nice person, I mean, I'm a pretty nice person with folks for the most part. When you start digging in and asking questions, they all of a sudden get back on track and they're doing it the right way, the right reasons, the right time. They're really on top of things and the numbers improve. And I haven't done anything except talk to people. I haven't gone in and changed the process. I haven't recommended a change in the tools or the personnel, but they see a spike in the number. And that's always, you got to ask that question early on, or else the Hawthorne effect will have already happened and you're starting behind the 8 ball. You're not getting credit for all the work you've actually done.
Yeah. Hey, you're hanging out with Keith, John, and our guest, Darren Phillips, this morning on Mornings in Live with Keith and Friends. Darren, you got a couple more minutes for me?
Yeah.
Awesome. Hey, you, a big part of my team comes from the Philippines, and I know Johnny's is as well. Tell us the story behind FilipinoContractors.com and what sparked that idea.
So, as you mentioned, I became a grandfather, and that's why I call myself Grand Dude, as you can see down here. So I created Grand Dude Studios so that I could take all these stories. I write a lot, but some people like to surf the internet and look at social media. I spend that time thinking and writing my ideas down and turning them into stories and stuff. So I was a social worker for 10 years back in the day, in the 80s and 90s, and I decided I wanted to make sure that my grandchildren had access to the kind of advice and guidance that I was giving to people back then to help them deal with anxiety and frustration, social and emotional things, bullies. So I started writing these stories. And while I was writing these stories, I decided, the early grade stuff, I need an illustrator or two. So I went on Fiverr, I went on Upwork. I was searching around looking for people to help me do the illustrations. And every time I found a really good artist or a really good virtual assistant that could help me with my social media outreach, they turned out to be from the Philippines. They spoke amazingly good English.
Yes.
Very, very generic. They watch our TV shows from North America. They listen to our music. They understand my culture. They understand my jokes, which is understanding my sense of humor is really important to me, obviously. And I know that's got to be a big one for John as well. He's probably a little bit of an edgy guy to work with if you don't get that he's being funny. Look at that. I mean, it's a little scary. So I'm
a lover, not a fighter. I'll give you a kiss before I hit you.
All right. So I just kept finding that the best people were from the Philippines. And then I said, you know what, I better make sure I'm doing this right. So I went out and I talked to lawyers from the Philippines. I talked to lawyers from the United States. I talked to some tax professionals and I said, wow, with the tax treaty that the US has with the Philippines, I'm in the United States. This is also the simplest contractor for me to hire, like the least amount of friction. I have very little paperwork. They do a single form that swears that they're in the Philippines. We have a contract with each other. And at the end of the year, I have a 1099 that says I paid this person more than $600 US. Like to have three steps to do to hire somebody, you can't do that with any other country. So I started sharing that with these entrepreneurs and startup people who I go to like these nerd events, coding events, things like that, where people are starting new companies. And so I decided, you know what, I need to help facilitate this process a little bit more directly. So that's why I created FilipinoContractors.com. So if you're what they call us is Kano, Americano, so they call us Kano. The Kano can come in and they got the blogs, and I'm putting together some YouTube videos to kind of teach them some of these basic steps about how do you find the right people, how do you pick the right people, what paperwork do you have to do. And on the Filipino side, I got a .ph side, FilipinoContractors.ph side, that also has blog stuff to help the Filipinos understand what's the process you should expect to go through, how do you learn how to be a virtual assistant. So I'm trying to educate both parties and bring them together with a SaaS where they can find each other. I'm just facilitating the connection, help you find each other, and on the cheap too. I'm not going to get rich off of this site. I charge $25 for somebody to post a job, US, and if you go out there anywhere else, it's much higher. Plus, with Fiverr and Upwork and those kind of sites, they keep a percentage of what the people make, and you both know the people in the Philippines don't make a lot of money and can't afford to lose like 30%.
I use onlinejobs.ph, a wonderful Filipino online community that has been incredible at helping me. That's where I found Jimmy, and I found a few of my teammates on online jobs. Hey, we're hanging out with Darren Phillips, a consultant, startup founder, and children's author. Yes, all at once, from transforming HR teams at Fortune 500 comes to building tools for smarter hiring and launching a customer experience job board. Darren, let's do a rapid fire, brother. I got some rapid fires for you. Quick questions for you to get after. Morning person or night owl?
I'm a morning person.
Whoa, what's the weirdest job title you've ever had?
Weirdest job title? I don't know. I guess when I was the customer experience manager in 2007, nobody knew what customer experience was, and they all thought very different things.
Love it. Love it. Favorite board game? Favorite board game growing up?
What was the what?
Favorite board game growing up?
Oh, I'm a Risk guy as far as board games go.
Oh, good choice. Good choice. That tells a lot about your demographic right there, brother. Coffee or tea or something stronger?
I'm a tea person, and I actually like herbal teas, not I like decaf.
Nicely done. Nicely done. Most surprising fan of your preschool books?
The most surprising fan is actually a lady in the UAE that lives in like an American enclave because her husband has work out there. And she reached out to me, and I was like, how did you even find out about me? Like, my mom is the only person I know that is dedicated to buying a copy of every book that comes out.
And Darren, if your career was a board game, what would it be called? And what's the one rule everyone would follow?
So if my career were a board game, Chutes and Ladders already been taken. So I guess it would be called Snakes and Studs, because you got to get out there, and it's a windy, curvy path. And at the end of the day, you just don't be afraid to pick it up and mess with it a little bit. Just don't get bit. Right.
Nicely done. Nicely done. Darren, thanks for hanging out with us this morning. Where can folks connect with Darren Phillips, find you, meet you, work with you? How can Mornings in the Lab Nation connect with Darren Phillips?
The best way is LinkedIn, because like I said, I'm not a social media guy. You won't find me on Facebook or Instagram. I don't want to be tempted by TikTok. That will consume my brain for too many hours. So I'm on LinkedIn. It's a business site. It's a professional site for the most part. So that's the best place to reach out to me. Just look up my name and I'll be there. Beautiful, beautiful. Lady Drew, I see your comment there. You can find Darren Phillips. Darren, Lady Drew's trying to connect with you. She's one of our loyal listeners in the community here. She's going to send you a connection request. You guys get connected. Johnny, before we say goodbye to Darren, any final words for Darren Phillips? John Anderson.
I was going to say it's a pleasure to meet you, brother, and great job getting on the show. I would say probably about 35% of them don't actually make it on.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Good job, brother. Good job.
Yeah. And it's a pleasure talking to you, brother. And I think that you're doing some great stuff. I mean, I've been in my business. I changed lives of my clients, but I also changed lives of the people that work for me or work on my team. And going back over a decade, you know, I've had people that live in India, people that live in different parts of Europe, I have some people in Croatia. So I think it's you're doing some really good work by creating opportunities for people that, you know, even though they make much less, it changes their lives. And I think what we all need to be doing is change. If everybody was focused on making lives around them better, we'd be in a much better world. And I think you're part of that movement. So great job, brother.
Thank you. It's an honor to be with both of you today. And thank you, Jimmy, in the background.
Awesome. Darren Phillips, I appreciate you, brother. I look forward to catching up with you coffee later today. You have yourself an awesome day, and you're a great guest, brother. Enjoy your day, okay?
All right. Thank you, Keith.
All right. Take care.
Bye,
Darren,
John.
get out of here. Jimmy, we're going to keep the show rocking and rolling here. Rufy, I see you there, brother. Love the dedication to blending career and doing it for your grandkids. Matthew Roof joining us here in the community, our business development leader here on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Johnny, here's what I thought we'd do, brother. I thought we'd have a chat about quitting complaining. And then I thought we could do the lifestyle tip. And then I thought we could get to some habit stacking, pal.
Let's do it. Sounds like we're going to be shutting it down early today, which is good because I was going to tell you I got to jump shortly after 6.
Yeah. So listen, today's show, my friend, was all about quitting complaining. And I got to tell you, man, before I met you years ago, I found myself doing a bunch of complaining. And not complaining in a complain about this, complain about that, but I was going down a negative path, brother. And I was going down a negative path of choosing reacting instead of responding. And I got to be honest, in the last year and a half since I've started the show, and I think just age, growing up and finding some maturity in life, and I'll be really blunt, and this is going to be smoke blowing up your ass, but meeting you, true story, has really helped me move the negative energy and this idea of complaining out of my life. Now, I know that I titled this, I Quit Complaining for a Week, or that's what it was, and here's what changed. The moment I decided to move the negative energy out of my life, my whole life changed. And I know it sounds so simple and cliche, and to somebody listening, foo. No, man. It's actually, the simplicity of it is what I love about it. Because when I chose, Johnny, when I fucking chose to move my energy from over here to over here, game changer. Talk about it.
You know, it's think of it almost like, I like to try to put it in visual, positions.
Yes.
So people could kind of like
understand
it from a different perspective. So think it's like your house, right? And think of your energy as like furniture. You got furniture that's all fucking nasty, that stinks, that you don't want to fucking sit on.
Yes.
Or you've got this furniture that's like this inviting, warm, feels good, makes you smile. Guests constantly want to show up, the right type of guests, the positive energy guests.
Yes.
But you got to remember, there's only so much room in your house for furniture. So you have to choose what furniture are you choosing to keep in your house. So if you've got all that shitty furniture in there, the negative energy, there's not much room for positive. So you by recognizing that you needed to push that bad furniture, that negative energy out, it invites or opens the opportunity for the good to come in. Because a lot of times people they're in pursuit of the good energy.
Yes.
But in actuality, there's no room in the house. There's no room in the brain for that new energy or that new furniture, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. I will tell you, there are times where I will have fun, and Melissa and I were talking this a couple of days ago, actually, where I will have fun at the expense of a negative situation. And you've gotten to know me well enough for those times. I'll bring up some fun, negative bullshit on the show. You're like, Bills, what are you doing? And I'll have fun with it. And I bring that up because I think that's the line that many of us can get caught up with, where it's easy to fall into negative and bitching and complaining because the line is so narrow. Like, it's so narrow. It's easy just to fall back and bitch. It's easy to go into a restaurant and wonder why you're not getting sick quicker, why you're not getting your food quicker, or why something that it's so easy to fall into that. You actually, John, I see, because I know you have to choose positivity. You have to choose the lane, don't you?
Well, and the thing about it is, like, I'm always poking at you like, oh, you say the guest didn't show up, blah, 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 whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you just fucking brought a shitty coffee table in the house. God damn it.
Yeah.
You don't even acknowledge. It's like, why acknowledge that? That's something that's like, all that did was take fucking space in the house or take space in the brain.
Yeah.
And it's fucking contagious.
Yes.
The negative energy will spread 10 times as fast just by the way our brains are programmed.
No question.
That shit will spread 10 times as fast as the positive. So I don't open the door. And if somehow that shit pushes the door open, I'm fucking quick to catch it and slam that motherfucker, because I know for me, this is just me.
Yeah.
I can stay where I want to be mentally, positively, in a positive state.
Yes.
Much more consistently by having it's just a lack of acknowledgement.
Yes. I think good morning, Brophy. I see you there, brother. Good morning, Calgary. Jason Brophy is always joining us here on the show. Big fan. Brophy, I'm a big fan of yours. When I say big fan, I'm a big fan of yours. Johnny, I think what I enjoy about it is, I think sometimes the negativity fuels my sense of humor. And so I'm able to find humor and goofiness within sometimes people's negative energy. And that wasn't always the case, brother. I've had to learn how to fuel that. I've had to learn how to, because I would say maybe part of it's the show, the entertainment side of things, and having some fun and perhaps pulling some attitude around it. But I will tell you, man, as I continue just to go through life, I don't got time for the bullshit, and like we say, if you want the bullshit, go to different platforms, go to a different show, go hear other people negative, and because then that just becomes a fueling of energy. It just perpetuates itself. And that's one of the reasons I've become a big fan of Matthew Roof, man. He's just a kindness guy. He's all about uncommon kindness. We're doing some work together. You guys haven't had a chance to fully meet, but he's spending some time with me, and he's just all about kindness. Right? Because it's easier. It's hard to choose kindness in a world of negativity.
Well, the thing about it is, so you're totally correct, 100%. So I'm just trying to break down. I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah.
You take that negativity, you find humor in it, but it's like I'm a little short for words and trying to make a good comparison or analogy here, but it's like, do we want to have fun with or make jokes about people using heroin? No. Just leave it behind. So, the idea is that we're giving attention. Our attention is fucking currency. And if our attention goes anywhere but into the positive side of what we're doing, we're wasting our attention. So that humor will be that much better when it's actually attached to something positive.
That's fair. Yeah. I think for me, I find the negative crap and I will wrap it around sarcasm or lace it in sarcasm to perhaps find some humor with inside of it. Right. But you did use a word that I want to pay attention to. You called attention. And,
oh my God, the people don't understand how important that is.
Well, and there's that, and Johnny, we're going to do the lifestyle tip for a quick second. I'm learning something actually. So Jimmy, I'm learning something. When we do the lifestyle tip, Uncle Keith's got to go over there for a quick piss, because when we get into the second hour and I'm like all here by myself, I'm like, okay, I'm fucking doing the pee dance and I can't really leave the show. So when you do the lifestyle tip, I'm fucking running out of here for 45 seconds. Just putting it up there, Jimmy.
I'll keep it rolling for you.
There you go. Yeah. But you talk about attention, Johnny. We've been living in an attention economy for a long time, and what folks aren't really paying attention to, and there's a point to what I'm going to say next, is we are rapidly moving into an intention economy, because AI is going to quickly start learning what our intentions are, and that's where people get nervous, because intention means following through. So if we're intentionally choosing positivity, right, there's a path there to greatness, a path to kindness, a path to goodness, right? Awareness, intention, and then create attention around positivity. I'm a fan of that, and I'm hoping that we can continue influencing folks to drive.
Well, and I think in the whole thing of influencing folks, that's a good one, because now, granted, you've found a way to kind of toggle.
Yes,
just a little bit, right?
Yes.
But here's the thing, I think this is just what I think.
Sure.
I could be totally wrong. I think this toggle is just your step to get all the way through.
Oh, you're probably right. 100%. Yeah. Well, and I would say part of it probably has to do with the show and just the persona and creating the character and having some fun. Right. So, but you're right. There's a few of those things going on there. For me, though, if I can wrap the segment up, for me, though, it was very much so this idea of just enough's enough. I just don't got time for the negative bullshit. I just don't.
Well, and that's perfect. So even when you're having humor or sarcasm around it, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your attention. You're wasting your intention. So you're still, let's just say that you've come from one side of the fence to the other. Let's call it, you got 10% still to pull into the right side. Yes. You're still wasting 10% with that sarcasm.
Can't argue with you.
Is it really worth that?
No, and it can't argue with you there because there's certain truth to that. There's absolutely certain truth to that. So
yeah, and brother, on that level, the last thing I want to say is it's a fucking daily practice to not acknowledge negativity.
Yes.
I wake up sometimes and fuck, man, God damn it, I'm acknowledging shit that I should be acknowledging.
Yes.
And so that's why I probably find because this show is all about us leading by example. So I think that's probably why I shouldn't say attack, but poke at you when you.
No, it's awesome. No, I think it's great because it keeps us balanced. It keeps us honest. It keeps the hypocrisy away from things, right? And it keeps it real, right? So because I don't want to be negative,
brother. My fucking life my life changed so massively once I realized that I was okay. I'm not going to acknowledge negativity anymore. And when I actually made that decision, and I actively, intentionally worked on it, the acceleration of the quality of my life and my happiness, I just I couldn't deny what was going on.
Yes.
All I wanted was more.
I would link this. Jason Brophy's coming. I'm not down with passive aggressive, and it's everywhere. I agree with you, Brophy. There's passive aggressiveness everywhere. John, the other thing that I think this is just when we go through our journey in life, maybe this is linked. It's linked to affirmation. I don't need affirmation from folks. I don't need somebody to tell me that I'm good at something or not. I don't need it. And that to me is kind of linked to the negativity thing too, right? Which is I don't need affirmation and I don't need to go on the negative path. I look in the mirror, pretty confident with who I see. I know I have my battles. I have my struggles, but I own them. I'm aware of them, but I don't need somebody blowing smoke up my ass to give me affirmation. And that to me is the opposite of chasing negativity. Do you follow me?
Yeah,
I know you're 100%. The same way. It's the same way.
Well, and then you also understand too is that when you do great things, you're going to constantly have turds being thrown at you.
Absolutely. Well,
and if you're going to acknowledge the turd, if you're going to acknowledge the turds, you're going to have a fucking long haul.
Yes, exactly. All right, Jimmy. There's our quit complaining segment on the deep dive on Mornings Live with Keith and friends. So Keith's going to step away for 30 to 45. Go for a quick one in the restroom. Johnny's doing a lifestyle tip. And then we're going to come back with a protein break, a conversation, and a habit stack conversation with me and Johnny before the top of the hour as he's got to rock and roll in 6 minutes. Johnny, get after, bro.
All right. So we're going to talk about today is we spend too much of our energy worrying. We've only got so much to give every day. And once we give that, it's over. There's no more left. Well, when we spend our time worrying about things that we have no control over, we're compromising many dimensions of our lives. We're compromising our happiness. We're compromising our progress. We're compromising so many things. So what I would suggest, this is a pretty interesting drill. I do this myself once in a while. If I feel like I'm kind of losing the grip, have my clients do it. Take a piece of paper and put a line right down the middle. On the left side, you're going to write down all the things that have been stressing you out. Let's just say over a 3 to a 6 month period. On the right side, you're going to write down the things that actually turned into reality, things that actually happened. You're going to be pretty blown away that you're going to find that left side is going to be pretty massive and the right side is going to represent about 20%, maybe 25% of the left side, which means you're stressing out about shit or you're suffering over shit that never even happens. It only exists in your mind. So when you recognize that you should only be investing your energy or your worries, so to speak, into things that you actually have some ability to control or help or fix, whatever adjective you want to use, it will be a life-changing drill. So remember, don't use your energy just to worry. Use your energy to actually identify the things that you have control over or you can have an impact on. Invest that energy there, and your life will change in a very, very positive regard. And the crazy thing is when you do this drill, you split the line down the page, it'll put it in perspective. And once you see that, it'll seem possible. Because right now it's like, where do I start? It just seems like this big drill. Well, get it on paper, take a look at it, and you're going to realize, holy smokes, I guess I am suffering over shit that only lives in my mind. Rock and roll.
My life, most of which never happened. Mark Twain, courtesy of our friend Adam Holroyd. Always joining us here on the show.
100%, brother. Hey, you got to give me a piss before we keep going here.
You do it. Johnny's stepping in for a quick piss. I'm resetting. Mornings in the lab with Keith and friends here. One almost, Jimmy, I forgot my words. Oh man, we hour one almost done here. All part of emotional regulation, I think, says Jason Brophy coming up here. And we have some truth happening behind the scenes. My guests are realizing that producer Jimmy's actually the brains behind the operation. Yeah, there's some truth on that one. Hey, we started the show here this morning. We talked hot wifing, hot husbanding, and 11 minutes is all you need, guys, to reduce cardiovascular risk, reduce a bunch of longevity risks if we get after it for, on a daily basis. We got into a big conversation with Darren Phillips, the dude who's reinventing HR along the way. And we had a conversation about negativity and how it's ruining much of our life by just, taking the negative path in life. And then John we got into this idea of not worrying about stuff that we can't control. Coming up in the second hour, we got Scott Fisk joining me. We got Suresh joining me. But before John leaves, we're going to get into a bedside brain dump with some habit stacking, Johnny. We're working hard to get this segment up to speed here. Johnny, so today's habit stack I got for us is all about winding down at the end of the day for something we all do, which is end our day with our phone. So my thought process with this one is scrolling in bed is cheap. This move pays dividends. The bedside brain dump. Johnny, the trigger is the day's over. We're putting our phone down. So trigger is day's over, habit stack, put the phone down. What would you like somebody to do once they put their phone down and they say the day's over? ChatGPT says maybe we want to write ourselves a 60-second memo or a journal or a reflection or 3 wins from today or 1 priority for tomorrow. And again, I'm throwing you a bunch of things because your job's to simplify this. But the trigger is day's over, phone is down. What do you want me to do, brother? What do you want me to stack on that habit, which is I'm putting my phone down because I don't want to do negative doom scrolling. Give me something positive to end my day with a habit stack as I put my phone down before I go to bed. John Anderson.
Well, I think what I see here is an opportunity to so I guess here, we're going to put the phone down.
Yes.
Let's incorporate an alarm that reminds us, okay, it's time to put the phone down. You're going to set an alarm that says, okay, I'm supposed to go to bed. Let's just say you go to bed at 10 or you're supposed to go to bed at 10.
Yeah.
That alarm's going to go off at 9. And the alarm is literally the trigger to the habit of putting your fucking phone down. Bam. See how simple that is? We want to simplify.
I love that. Yeah. So what you're saying is that
let's not overcomplicate this. Let's just get the phone out of bed.
Yeah. So I go to bed 8:00. I got an alarm going off at 7:45 telling me bedtime's in 15 minutes.
Like perfect example, 7 p.m. My fucking phone is plugged in, turned over. Sayonara. Because I go to bed at 8.
That's spectacular. There you go, guys. There's your habit stack here. So, if you're not setting your alarm to go to bed before you put your phone down, there's the stack, right? The trigger is it's time to go to bed. The stack on the habit is put the phone down, turn your lights out. End of story.
And you know what the best part about this is? It's going to help create some structure of when you should go to bed. Because if Without your phone, you're probably going to fucking find you're going to be less entertained, and you'll realize, fuck, I guess I am tired. Maybe I should go to bed.
Yes. We got Matthew Roof coming in, Johnny. He's cutting up some watermelon right now. So I think Roof's going to have a great weekend because we know that watermelon enhances our longevity and perhaps our sexual productivity. So it's probably going to be a great weekend in the Roofy house, maybe with some life expectancy work hanging out over there. Johnny, I got to tell you, man, so I don't use an official alarm, but I use Apple Health within my phone. And Apple Health, which knows my bedtime, reminds me bedtime's coming up and reminds me that it's time to get into my wind down routine. And I'm pretty diligent with that, which is okay. It's time to start winding down.
You know what app I use for that?
Tell me. Your brain?
John's brain.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew
it's a great app, dude. Go to Apple Store, download it. You're going to find one in there called Keith's Brain.
Yes. Yeah. Sometimes it's full of shit.
Everybody's fucking got one of these too, and it's fucking free.
Yeah,
you know,
I love it.
It'll never fucking fail you if you actually put it in motion. That's the great thing about the brain. You put it in the proper motion, and it will figure shit out for you.
So true.
But you put it in the wrong fucking motion. It's going to figure that shit out for you. So the question is, which direction are you putting your brain in motion to?
Oh, man. All right. I know you got a rock roll. What do you got going on today, brother? What do you got going on today?
Well, today, actually, I'm not going because I got to deal with Facebook or some crazy shit like yesterday. Terry and I are actually going to go for, and we're going to go for an early game of pickleball.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's been hot down here. Then I got some clients to handle, and we're gonna have some great conversations there. That we're actually going to a friend of ours that's about an hour south, and his place. We're gonna actually go catch some triggerfish.
Triggerfish? What is that? I don't know what that is. Where do you catch them? Are you catching them like in the ocean?
Yeah, they're in the ocean. I've eaten them. I was like, fuck, I've eaten them at his house. He caught him that day. I'm like, God damn it, this is good. And he shows me the picture. Looks like a fucking piranha, dude. He's got teeth like a cat.
Oh yeah. Well, dude, send me a picture later. I want to see it. Trigger. I've never heard of a triggerfish before. That's fascinating to me.
I haven't either. It tastes good.
Well, there you go. Very good. Will you have yourself a safe, fun day today? I got a bunch of fun things happening myself here today, and then
the cool thing about this is we're catching these fuckers off the beach, so we're just standing on the fucking beach casting out. It's even better. I'm standing there in my board shorts, catching a fucking tan, casting out into the fucking shallow water. I mean, Jesus Christ, let's go.
Much better than that, eh? That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, pal. Well, you enjoy your day today. You get after it. I see you, Suresh. I see you there. Oh, hold on. It looks like Melissa just dropped me something here. Oh, there you go. She dropped in a triggerfish image here for me. I see it. Thanks, Melissa. Dude, we got our team listening in here. I see a picture of a triggerfish. Oh, look at that.
See the teeth on that son of a bitch?
I do see the teeth on that son of a bitch. And they could be fucking huge too, man.
Yeah, I did. The ones that I got to eat were not that big, but I don't know. Fuck, I suppose they could be big. I guess it's more you're catching them, But yeah. What I know is we're gonna catch those little bastards and we're gonna fucking fry them up and eat them.
Check that out, man. Those are big fuckers, man. Holy Christ! They look like sunfish.
You see the teeth. Yeah, they do look like almost like a little bluegill, but a bluegill doesn't have teeth that could pierce your skin.
Yeah. Look at this one here.
Look at the teeth on that fucker.
I know, man. Wow. Look at that. We're dropping nuggets every single day here on the show. We all learned something new here today about triggerfish. John Anderson to go catch some triggerfish. Hey, Roofy, we got to go fishing with Anderson to go catch some triggerfish down there in Mexico on the Baja one day.
The Sea of Cortez, baby. The Sea of Cortez. Jacques Cousteau said the Sea of Cortez is the world's aquarium. There's more shit living in that fucking place than anywhere else on the planet.
And speaking of Jacques Cousteau, you know David Attenborough, the wonderful voice of all those nature documentaries. The guy's apparently working his way through life here and going to be passing soon. I'm a huge fan of David Attenborough. You know David Attenborough. You've watched. I know you've watched enough of his content. We've all have, right? So I guess he's made his last movie or his last video, but he's apparently he's moving on here soon to the next yonder of life, the afterlife.
Yeah, that's it.
So
that's it. He'll go teach a bunch of people in his next life.
That's exactly right. I'm going to go watch my daughter do some dancing today. It's her final dance weekend here today. So that's looking forward to that.
Good for you.
Exactly. All right, pal. Great week. We got a big week next week. You have yourself an awesome day today. Be safe fishing for those trigger fish. Don't get your fingers bit off by the teeth.
I'll pull them I'll pull them into the beach, but I'm not taking them off the hook.
You're like me. I go fishing and I'm like, okay, I caught the fish, and then I give it to the guide to do the rest of the work. Right.
I love it. That's it.
All right, pal. Jimmy, let's get Johnny out of here. Have yourself an awesome day, brother.
Have a good
and Hour 2 of Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Hour 1 is done. Yep. We're getting to the second hour. We got Suresh Bangani joining me on the show here coming up. Suresh, I got your name here in front of me. I'm working hard to pronounce it properly here. Suresh turned forgotten socks into a business and now owns a gym too. What? The wildly smart world of Suresh Bangani coming up in a number of minutes here on the Morning Focus on Mornings Live with Keith and Friends, coming up in about 7 minutes or so. But before we do that, Jimmy, I got a couple things I want to throw onto the table for the nation to talk about this morning. And the first one was something I didn't get into with Johnny on the show here, but it's this idea of sweet deception. Can diet drinks trick your brain into feeling hungry? Well, ever wondered why you feel hungrier after a diet soda? Well, there's a groundbreaking new study published in the Nature of Metabolism that might have the answer for you guys. Researchers have discovered that sucralose. Now, you guys all seen those on the labels. I know, Fisk, you've seen it. I know, Suresh, you've seen it. That popular artificial sweetener found in many sugar-free products could be ramping up hunger signals in the brain, especially in women and in individuals with obesity. Now, this matters, Jimmy, because millions of people turn to artificial sweeteners to curb sugar intake and manage weight. But guys, if these sweeteners are sending mixed signals to the brain, they might be doing more harm than good, especially for those already struggling with metabolic challenges. The study in March of this year had researchers finding that sucralose increased brain activity in the hypothalamus, a key region regulating hunger, by 17%, especially in women and especially in people with obesity. So this hormonal disconnect, unlike sugar, sucralose doesn't trigger the release of satiety hormones like GLP-1, potentially creating a mismatch between perceived sweetness and actual energy intake. Yeah, and Good Times coming in with, that's the same with me, the guy that orders 14 double cheeseburgers with a Diet Coke. Well, hold on, Good Time. We got to talk about that one, brother. So there's something to be said about, taste buds. So I myself prefer the artificial sweeteners over sugar. I know it's not for everybody, but if you had to have me choose a Diet Coke or a Coke Zero over a regular Coke, I'm choosing the Diet. I'm choosing the Coke Zero. So I'm okay with crushing 14 cheeseburgers. It's okay. It's Good Time. Johnny's gone now and he's not listening. He's too busy playing pickleball. So I'm okay crushing the 14 cheeseburgers. And I'm okay chasing them with the Diet Coke. But what I don't do is I don't chase it with the milkshake. I'd fucking love to, but I don't. Good morning, Sarvino. I see you there in the comments. Good to have you on the show this morning. We got Matthew Roof joining us with, come on, guys, handling fish is the best part. Well, Roofy, depends what kind of fish you're talking about, brother. I don't know, man. Having the life in your hands reminds you that it's a precious and a natural gift. Yeah, I don't know. I just like giving the fish to my guide so my guide can take the fish off the hook. That's a little bit more enjoyable for me. But guys, sucralose and how it's fucking with us. There's the physiological versus the behavioral impact. Despite heightened brain signals, the study didn't find, and here's the key hook, you guys. The study didn't find a corresponding increase in food intake, at least in the short term. So, but there's contradictory evidence. Previous studies have shown that mixed results. One 2019 trial even tried to find reduced energy intake with sucralose. So guys, track your cravings. If you notice more hunger or cravings after consuming diet drinks, consider reducing or replacing them with water or natural flavor infusions. Here's the reality, guys. Maybe just drink water. Or pair sweeteners with fiber, because combining sucralose with high fiber foods might help counteract increased hunger signals by enhancing those feelings of fullness. or just go eat some protein. Yeah, not drink the protein drink. Just go eat some protein. Get yourself full there. Adam Holroyd, I had a Pepsi for the first time in years the other day. I found that I don't even enjoy the taste anymore. Holroyd, I got to be honest, brother. I don't even know when I had Adam, I can't recall. I don't think in the last 10, 15, 20 years, maybe 25 years, I don't know the last time I had a full-fledged full sugar Coke or Pepsi or any soft drink. I honestly don't. I don't even know what it tastes like because I just, I'm not going to lie. I enjoy my Coke Zeros. And as you guys all know who have been following me for a long time, when I was growing ICUC, I lived on Diet Coke, too much of it, frankly. But guys, have you ever felt hunger after drinking a 0-calorie soda? And maybe your brain's telling you something. But guys, let's open it up. Have artificial sweeteners helped or hurt your appetite? I want to hear from you guys and drop some comments in the feeds. And the reality is this: science is still catching up with how our bodies respond to artificial sweeteners. I guarantee you, I'm going to read a study here on this show in a couple months from now. It's going to totally contradict this, right? So whether you're managing weight or making mindful choices, listening to your body is just as important as reading the labels. There's a true story there, guys. All right, Jimmy, let's keep it rolling, brother. I got something else on the table here I want to throw on the table, which is this one here around the news talks back how AI is turning headlines into conversations. Guys, we talk AI on the show here. What's that? We got a good time coming in. I would say I'd rather a Coke over a regular. Coke over a regular. What? Good time. The hell you saying, man? I would say I'd rather a Coke O over, Coke Zero. I'm sorry, a Coke O, Coke Zero. Yeah, me too, man. I'm all about Coke Zero. I don't, to be honest with you, I don't know what, I'll be frank. I'm not sure why somebody chooses the full-fledged sugar Coke instead of the zero one, knowing what they know about a whole can of sugar. I don't know, I'm just asking the question. Just curious why we would choose the full can of sugar, liquefied, over the one that doesn't have all the sugar. I know, maybe I don't want to have the chemicals, but maybe there's something to be said for that. Hey guys, you imagine opening your favorite news app and instead of scrolling through your headlines, you simply say, what's going on today? And it talks back. Well, not just reading the news, but having a full conversation with it. And that's not science fiction. That's where AI is taking media next. Guys, I'm building a modern day media company here. And Lauren asked a legitimate question, which is why choose any of it? And a very fair question. Why have the Coke Zero or the Coke? Maybe just drink the water. Very, very legitimate, very worthwhile question. But guys, this shift is more than cool tech, and it's transforming how we engage with the world. And to those of you who are paying attention, I'm a little bit of a tech nerd here. Day before yesterday, massive news in the world of technology. Jony Ive, the guy who invented, half the inventor of the iPhone, is partnering with OpenAI, and they're launching an AI device. So why is that relevant to us? Well, because of what I'm talking about here right now. Conversations with AI about the news can help us challenge assumptions, explore multiple perspectives, and understand the bigger picture, all on our own terms. Guys, we've consumed the news one of a couple of ways over the last 1,000 years. We've read it, we've listened to it, we've watched it. What this is suggesting to us is that the shift in AI news is that we're going to engage with it, right? According to Dentsu's media trends, AI is driving a new phase of news delivery, conversational news experiences. Hey, Melissa, what are we doing on the show here? Having some conversation. Yeah. Using voice-first AI like ChatGPT's advanced voice mode, users are interacting with news in real time, making the experience more dynamic and personalized. If you think about it, guys, news up until now has been nothing but passive. Yeah, you consume content passively, but now we're moving into a world where audiences can ask follow-up questions, dive into side stories, clarify confusing points. If you've spent any time with Perplexity, incredible AI tool, you'll see what I'm talking about. The engagement closes knowledge gaps and builds a more informed human being. It is removing us away from the passive news experience into a very engaging, hyper-personalized experience. Unlike traditional algorithms that push you more of what you already like, AI experiences will adapt stories themselves, changing tone, length, and so forth, even geographic emphasis, tailoring the same news to fit different lives. It's coming, guys. News is becoming more like an immersive map than a straight map. AI is going to build story spheres, letting users explore issues like climate change, elections, or war from different dimensions: historical, regional, political, and even emotional. So as we look into the swift changing world of media, we're exploring different premium ways of delivering the news to us. The point of this conversation, guys, is this: the way we're consuming news is rapidly changing. I would invite you all to try an AI news companion. Seriously. Sit down with ChatGPT and talk about the news. Sit down with Perplexity and talk about the news. Why am I encouraging you to do so? Because that's what we do here on the show. We have conversations. And if you sit down and have a conversation with your GPT around the news, I'm suspecting you're going to learn a hell of a lot more than just a passive news experience than what we're going through today. Good times, Jimmy. Things are changing. Things are changing pretty quick. Okay, well, listen. I got a guy who's turned forgotten socks into a business, and he now owns a gym. Yeah. Yep, this is it. We got, where's my notes here? Today's guest turned a forgotten pair and then bought a gym for fun. And sometimes, and somewhere in between, Jimmy, somewhere in between, this guy built a top-performing sales team. If you're tired of hustle culture and ready for smarter growth, you're going to love Suresh Bangani coming up here in a second. Welcome back to Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. We got Suresh Bangani, who's the founder of Exec Socks. Yes. Lauren, this guy's got a vending machine for socks. And he's the owner of an F45 fitness studio. I wonder if he bought it during the Mark Wahlberg era. He's going, yeah, I did. I got brought into that one. From landing in the US at 21 with big dreams to mentoring 100 plus professionals and building a business across tech, fitness, and real estate, Suresh's journey is all about intentional action. There's that word, you guys. Let's back it up. Suresh didn't have any success by accident. There's some truth to all my friends who are looking to make it big in the entrepreneurial world. What was the key word for Suresh? Intention. Intentional action. He's like, yeah, I got to get up. I'm going to achieve some success. Oh, but Suresh, was it accidental? No, it was intentional. Suresh's journey is all about intentional action over burnout. We're going to talk socks, systems, and smart growth, and why real success is less about hustle and more about mindset, relationships, and doing the work that actually moves the needle. Nation, take a quick second out of your day to welcome our friend Suresh Bangani into Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. What's up, brother?
What's up, Keith? So good to see you. How are you,
pal?
Doing great. Thank you for inviting.
Absolutely. How was your lift this morning?
Man, it was sweaty.
Tell me about it. What did you get after today, brother?
Yeah, today's class was Renegade, if anybody comes to F45. And to kind of follow up on your question for F45, I would tell you, we recently purchased F45. It was actually in like mid or early March.
Yes.
So I kind of got the tail end of Mark Wahlberg, I guess, or I mean, it was a great opportunity. And to be honest with you, I think a lot of the audience might be thinking too, like, from a SOC to a sales leader to like a gym, which is like a weird combination. I personally feel like, fitness isn't just like a business, which typically people like think, it's just a business. It's like a daily reminder of discipline. And that's the reason what I love is like, just you show up, do what that coach asks you to do. And then, you have a freedom to do whatever you want to do. Just focus on your day. So you're not worried about like, oh my God, I now work out. I should not eat this. I should not do this. Oh my God. Do your part. Show up. It keeps you healthy. You sweat. You get your heart rate up depending on whatever workout you want to do and go back to your work. So it just kind of puts it into your day-to-day.
So I'm intrigued by this, Suresh. So what you're saying to me is that, I think what you're saying to me and to our audience is that you bought the F45 gym to continue with your daily discipline. And because you were working out anyways, you're like, well, yeah, it's part of my life. It's part of my non-negotiable. It's part of my discipline. I might as well go and own the business around it. Would that be a fair enough thing for me to say?
100%. Yes.
That's brilliant, man.
And I'll get to impact my local community as well too, because coming from sales side, I mean, it's like sales is something like in my blood. So I just feel like I would kind of motivate people who are like still on the edge of like, yeah, should I work out? Oh my God, should I be lifting weights or not? That's one of the biggest things, which I think your friend would actually say the same thing. Like, you got to lift weights. I'm not
100%
crazy heavy, but you got to do some sort of strength or some sort of like training around it, because that's the only reason. If you're aging, like you got to do some sort of strength training. And
we know that strength is a success to longevity. We know we got to lift weights. We know resistance training. Yesterday we talked on the show about the greatest way to keep our mental acuity strong is resistance training, right? We often think that we gotta, go do a crossword or go stimulate our brain with something that it'd be obvious to our brain, but the science is telling us get to the gym, lift something up heavy, have resistance training as part of your daily non-negotiables. You're going to more than likely live longer if you make that part of your non-negotiables. Suresh, the sock incident sparked the business. Dude, you're not on the show by accident, obviously.
Thank you.
The sock incident that sparked the business. You forgot your socks before a big client meeting. So you started a fucking vending machine business to make sure it never happened again. Nation, you want to talk about intention and purpose? The guy's like, I don't got socks. I need socks. So I'm oversimplifying it, but you actually started a sock vending machine that is now called Exec Socks, is landing in airports and offices around North America. Dude, like honestly?
Yep.
All right, show's over. There you go, guys. That's it.
The thing is, like, especially for like boys, like sock is the only accessory which is so over kind of like, forgotten.
Yeah.
People just think like, black pair of socks, that's good. White one, it's good. It has holes in them. Nobody's watching it. It's okay. Let it slide. But I mean, you got to realize it's the smallest thing. It's a low cost item. This is not even like you're talking like a Gucci or like some name brand or whatever. It's just a low cost item that can change your morale. You can get into icebreaker. If you're really talking to somebody, you get a nice compliment, and just makes your day and just move on. And typically for boys or men's, it's not a lot of things in the wardrobe. I mean, these days it's kind of gotten, but it's not a lot. It's like one thing that we wear every single day. And it's something like you get to show off and probably get compliments and talk about it. Like, hey, today I feel like a pizza type of day. Hey, I feel healthy today. I'm going to wear some avocados. So it just depends on. And then from there, it turned into like my real estate to more of my idea of like, okay, everybody ignores vending machines. I mean, think about it. How many times did you go to vending machine? This drink or these weird snacks, which I don't want to eat. The worst of the worst for dollar socks, dollar the snacks you get or whatever. That's where I was like, how about a sock vending machine? It's $5 a pair. Go to your local outlet mall and it's actually out there and you can just pick it up. And a sock subscription where regardless of you're traveling, you want to give a gift, whatever is the case. Like it's very simple. It's like $10 per month or $15 for like per month. You get a pair of socks delivered and you can have it a gift to somebody. And we try to keep it very, very cost effective. So it's not just like built for like, lower end or high end. It's like anybody can afford it. This shouldn't be a question where like, oh man, it's too rich for me. No. So
again, you're not on the show by accident. You're here for a purpose. A couple of reasons that really struck me about you. Across your LinkedIn posts, your keynote topics, the personal stories that you write out there. Suresh, maybe you know this, maybe you don't. But there's one word that consistently repeats itself through all your content, whether it's in sales, whether it's in fitness, whether it's in finance, and it's the D word, discipline. Talk about that word and what it means to Suresh.
I think everybody has heard this, right? Discipline equals to freedom. As long as you show up and do what you're supposed to do, regardless in your personal life, professional life, not even that, in your spiritual life as well too. If you follow any kind of spiritual path, hey man, freedom is coming your way because you paid your dues. You showed up to the gym, you showed up to your work from 9 to 5, giving your 120%. You're not cutting corners, you're giving your A+ best effort. And then right after 5 o'clock, this is something that recently I just post. People talk about like cold plunges and like morning, oh my God, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
I prefer like evening when I'm winding it down to figure out how was my day? Did I actually hit my goals? Did something burn my energy? Which I was like, my God, this person just exhausted me. I don't want to see this person's face anymore because he's annoying. What am I going to be planning for tomorrow? So my day is already ready. I already have a sticky note ready to go. So I'll give you one example. Like this is one of my for being a sales leader. This is what I'm going to do. As long as I do that, I check it off. I'm like, hey, I paid my dues. This is my discipline. You like it, don't like it. There's really no option. There's no negotiation around it. What you're supposed to do is just show up, consistency every single day. And a lot of times, and I think Keith kind of goes to your side too. A lot of times, like you just got to show up. And I think one of the posts I wrote was like Other boring Wednesday, you just show up. There's no likes, no comments, nothing, but you got to share your story depending on what's going on in your mind, and you just got to write. And just keep writing.
What struck me again, Suresh, with your story is that you turned discipline into a swift decision to start a sock business. And what I mean by that is that, people like, why didn't I start a sock vending machine? Why didn't I start? And everybody has the idea. Everybody's got every idea in the world, but you and I both know as entrepreneurs, the hardest thing to do is to execute. But if you have discipline, execution becomes much easier. And I want to link the two because it's go back. You had that moment where you're like, holy fuck, I need a pair of socks. So I'm going to make an assumption here. Because of what got you to where you were in that moment at that executive meeting, and because you had a bunch of discipline already, self-discipline wired inside of you, when you had the idea for the sock vending machine, there probably wasn't a big spread from the idea to the execution of it. It probably went idea, aha, I got to do it. And then you executed because you were a disciplined human being. Am I correct?
100% correct. And to be honest with you, the whole thing went into process within like 2 months.
There you go.
Second, I figured it out, like, okay, vending machine, I can get them custom wrapped. Back to my sales channel, I was making cold calls to like the malls, to like Tanger outlets.
Yeah.
Sending out email blast.
Yeah.
Sending them like social media, like just literally harassing them because it's a very new concept. And everybody thinks like vending machine, nah, we already have soda machine. I'm like, hey, listen, man, I'm thinking about sock. They're like, oh, yeah, we don't have anything like that. And then it's so hard for them to price. And you kind of have to like handhold them to tell them, hey guys, let's start this thing. And then you tell me. And then let's kind of like, so that's where like we kind of landed, like Tanger outlets was like the biggest one. And then we were like, hey, machines are ready to go. You tell me when can I start? And they're like, can you come next week? I'm like, done.
Oh, sure. I love it. I love it. We got Matthew Roof. Roofy, I invite you to meet Suresh. Suresh, meet Matthew Roof. He's on the Mornings in the Lab business team here. Matthew comes in and says, good socks are key to foot health too. Yes, very much truth there, especially when you're walking a lot, working out, or just on your feet a bunch. If your feet are fucked up, you're fucked. There's certainly truth in that. There's a lot of truth in that, man. And they're literally your foundation. And, and we often overlook them. Suresh.
Mm-hmm.
We often overlook our feet, right?
Oh, yes, all the time. And I told you, like people, I don't know how any human being is okay with wearing holes in your sock, or even mentally, I feel like boring, same black pair of socks that you wear every single day. And I'm like, come on, man. Like, I mean, life can be better. It can be beautiful. You just got to make a decision of buying some good pair of socks where every time you look at it, you're like, oh, wow, this is so cool.
Yeah.
It just changed my day. You're like, all right, it just changed my day. And it's a very small item. It's nothing rocket science that we're making. It's just very small thing that just changes your mindset.
Yeah. Suresh, someone listening right now, they're stuck between too many ideas. And you're a man of execution. You're a man of discipline. What's your advice for getting unstuck and into action?
I would have them write it down on a piece of paper, all the ideas.
Okay. That's what works for you, right?
Yep. That's what I would do. Number one. Number two, I would have them rank it to saying which would actually affect them personally. If you execute on this idea, would you be able to sleep properly tonight? Yeah. Or you will have some like uncomfortable gut, because I'm a very big believer of like, does this sit well with my gut? Am I able to sleep?
Yes.
Way? If this person is saying, hey, if I execute on these two, man, I'm going to sleep like a baby because I crushed my goal. Pick those two or pick that one, close your eyes, let those negative people just kind of ignore them or block them and just tell them, hey man, just let me do my thing. I don't want to talk to you. Just execute. Do not listen to anybody. Whatever the first thing comes in your mind, find a mentor. There's so much knowledge out there with AI, YouTube.
Yes.
There's so much resources out there. There's no excuse for anybody telling you that, hey, I cannot do this.
Yes.
Because you can find 100 million excuses to not do things, but the same thing you can find out to do it. And trust me, once you find those 100 million reasons, like this is my story, the world itself will come to help you. That's guaranteed. This is proven fact. I'm telling you, I'm a live example right here. Like you just got to go with it. And there's lots and lots of learning to it. Do not look back. This is it. Like you got to pivot, obviously, depending on how things go for you in that 6 months, 1 year. But you got to stay humble and learn from that experience to figure out like, all right, I got to tweak, I got to pivot. It's okay. We don't have to like go like straight laser focused into it, but you got to learn and keep improving yourself. And something I'll tell you, like, we started with like stock subscription. That was the only piece. And quickly I realized, I'm like, man, like the churn and burn on this is like so high. That's where my second model came in, was like custom socks.
Oh yeah.
One came in was like vending machine. I'm like, I need multiple different sources of income coming into this business, because subscription is not the only piece that I can sit on, because there's so much money you got to put it in to land a subscription, which is okay. But I need some more like cushion to make sure I'm running this business. And then partnerships, which is like very, very big with your like local associations and everything else. And that's one thing you will learn. So that's what would be my advice. Like, just go for it, man. As Nike says, just do it. Just do it, man. Don't think twice.
Just do it. Hey, you're here with Keith Billis and Suresh Bangani. Mornings in Live with Keith and friends. We're wrapping up with Suresh here, hanging out with us this morning. Scott Fisk is coming up in a couple of minutes in the community corner. Suresh, I got some rapid fires for you, brother. You ready?
Yes, let's go.
Let's go. Favorite sales book of all time?
Oh, man, Tribal Leadership.
Socks or sneakers? What's the bigger impulse buy?
Ooh, socks, obviously.
More
crazy they get.
Most used app on your phone, not email.
Oh my God. It's my MindBody business app where I'm checking on my F45 subscriptions.
Love it. Last workout that humbled you.
Oh my God. Volunteering at my church.
Haha. Business idea you secretly want someone else to build.
Oh man. Some sort of a dating application, but it has to be related to fitness.
I love it. Weirdest place
there, holding accountable and saying, I'm going to go for a run. Do you want to come
weirdest
join me?
Place you've pitched a business idea, Suresh?
LaunchX, Silver Spoon, Wolf Den. I mean, geez, you name it, man. Anything in North Carolina, they probably have heard my ideas.
Dude, you're awesome. And finally, if you had to write a book called The Unsexy Secret to Success, Suresh, what would chapter 1 be? And what's the title of chapter 2?
So chapter 1 would be show up. And chapter 2 would be keep showing up.
Dude, I love your commitment to showing up. You really believe in that, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Even if you got nothing moving, you believe in that. Even if you have nothing going on, showing up is the key to unlocking momentum, which is the key to creating movement.
Yes.
Love it. Suresh, how can folks connect with you, find you, and interact and engage with your content, buy some socks, learn more about you? Suresh, tell the nation.
Thank you. So socks is actually execsocks.com. You're welcome to connect with me on LinkedIn. My full name is Suresh Bangani. I'm pretty sure I'm friends with Keith and as well the whole community. So I look forward to connecting everybody on LinkedIn.
Beautiful. Suresh, I'm looking forward to connecting you later today, pal. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning. Had a lot of fun. I got to be honest, brother. I got 1,000 questions for you, but I got shit from my producer yesterday. I got to get better with managing time. Producer Jimmy was like, Billis. I'm like, yeah. He's like, dude, time is not infinite. I'm like, I know, but I like talking to the guests. He's like, no, but you got to stay on time. I'm like, all right. So that's Suresh, right. I got to boot you out of the lab because I got another young man who's been hanging out for a while here. His name's Scott Fisk. He's coming up in a quick second. Suresh, I'm looking forward to grabbing coffee with you later today and learning more about you. And I'm really glad we're now connected on LinkedIn, brother.
Absolutely, Keith. Thank you so much. Have a good weekend and have a good weekend to everybody else too.
All right, Jimmy, let's get Suresh out of here. We're going to bring up our next guest here in a couple seconds. Yep, Scott's joining Community Corner to share his philosophy on design as a deeply human, partnership-driven process. He doesn't just create logos, he crafts identities that break doors down. Expect discussion on building true creative community, pushing back against vanilla AI-generated aesthetics, and planting the flag firmly in the soil of authentic, hand-driven art. All right, Jimmy. Let's do this. Today's guest. Yeah, baby. Oh, Jimmy, listen to those tunes, man. Listen to those tunes, Jimmy. I'm jacking it up, man. Jacking up the energy. Whoa! We got Scott Fisk, professional illustrator, brand designer, and self-declared design partner. Suresh is like, where the fuck was my entry music? Sorry, brother. You got to get the later slot, so I was ready for it. All right. So Fisk, self-declared design partner to some of the biggest names in the automotive world. From creating visuals for Dodge and Ram Chargers to building community through emotionally charged design, Scott doesn't do vanilla. Fuck no, that's why he's here. If Scott was vanilla, he's not on this show. He's on a different show. Scott's on the vanilla show. But no, we got Scott Fisk. He doesn't do vanilla. He's here to smash doors down. And did we mention that Fisk is doubling down on humanity in an age of AI? Buckle up, guys. We're about to go full throttle into the world of badass branding and creative authenticity with our friend, Mornings in the Lab, with Scott Fisk. What's up, Fisky?
Hey, how are you?
There you are. I need you. There you are. How are you, pal?
Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you loud and clear. How are you, brother?
Oh.
You good? You've been hanging out with us for a while there. You enjoying the show so far?
Yeah, it's been great, man. I mean, I had these down around my neck, and then I was like multitasking because, you know, in a day, it's kind of like whack-a-mole, right? You know,
Yeah.
And if you're not showing up and throwing down, well, don't even get out of bed.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Nation, we celebrated Scott on the community corner a couple weeks back, and he was so kind. He put some wonderful content out about us and talking about the show. And I know he was excited to get here today, and I was excited to have him in here today. And we were messaging last night. He's like, I think I'm all ready to go, but I don't have headphones. I'm like, brother, we got to get some headphones in here. And what's he do? Jimmy, he made it a priority. He made it roofie. The guy made it a priority. I'm like, he's like, Keith, I think it's going to be fine. I'm like, no, I don't think it's going to be fine. So why not? I go, because we do things a little differently here on the show. Scott's like, what? I go, yeah, we do 2 streams. We do vertical stream, horizontal stream. We do a professional show here on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. So what does he do? Roofie, he goes and gets himself some headphones so he can bring it. And I know nothing but appreciation for that, man. I appreciate you a lot for that. But Fisky, let's get into it, brother. I want to get into, you've worked with Dodge, Ram Chargers, and had your visuals in front of 8 million people.
Yeah, man. It was
8 million people. How do you stay grounded in that kind of spotlight? You're out and about, you see your content all over the place. It's like hearing your song on the radio.
Yeah, you know, I think it's about walking into it and just keeping your posture right.
Yeah.
And, you know, I live in a real technicolor world, but humility is a real thing. Because,
nice,
you know, yeah, man. I mean, I know a lot of artists, and as soon as you give them this glitter, it just makes their head blow up. And I'm not there for that. I'm really there to play the long game. And it's about just being a really good role model in this industry. Because, you know, we just see that. We see a lot of posturing, not just as artists, like just pick some dude who gets an NBA contract. He comes from nothing, and the next day he's wearing $50,000 around his damn neck and just showing off to the world. Nah, that's just not my style. I'd rather just show off with the artwork and continue to throw down.
Yeah. So I've been there. I was that guy for a while there. As I sold my company, made a bunch of money, and then started buying a bunch of shit. And
shit let you down.
Well, you know what happens? I learned really quickly. I got into the old Tom Ford cycle of buying clothes and content, and then, you know, I was sitting back at my desk one day, and then I got an email in my inbox, and it was like, "Hey, the new Tom Ford collection's out." I'm like, "Hold on a second. I just bought the other one." I went in my closet. I'm like, "That looks kind of the same as the one I just bought a year ago. It's got a different shade of gray." I'm like, oh, I'm now sucked into the Tom Ford, name the brand, you know, it's like, okay, this year's Louis Vuitton color is now, you know, cherry red. Next year's color is going to be, you know, it's light red. I'm like, what the fuck? So I've been there, brother. I've absolutely been there getting sucked into it. I'm like, no, I'm done with that. And you know, I got the biggest one wrapped up in my garage. I got an original Tesla Roadster wrapped up in my garage.
The garage.
Yes, the garage. Yes, the garage, Fisky. Yeah, I got.
Yeah, no, man. I'm from the Northeast, so we take the R and stretch it out for everything it's got. We call
That's right. Yeah, and I'm sure I got roof. I know I got Roofy here fucking laughing at me too here, but I got the original Tesla Roadster wrapped up in the garage, and I had a conversation with a couple fellas last week. It's like, why don't you drive the car anymore? And Fisky, you'll love this. Like, because I don't. So the car doesn't really represent much of who I am today. And it's not in a place in my life right now. Do you follow when I say that?
Oh, yeah. I do. Yeah, I do. I mean, I kind of have a car problem. I mean,
yeah, I know you do.
Yeah. I mean, I've got my 64 Oldsmobile. It's 2 time zones long, and it sleeps 6 in the trunk.
Love it.
Yeah, man, we could put your Tesla in there as a spare.
I bet. Scotty, one of the reasons we celebrated you in the community corner and one of the reasons I leaned into your content and what you do is a couple of things, and I want to share it with you. But you may or you may not know this, and this is kind of one of those did you realize things. You know, you use the phrase break doors down.
Smashing them down, man. Kicking 100% to the ground.
Like a mantra. It's clearly a signature. It's clearly a signature energy stamp. And it clearly displays this, you know, you're signaling disruptive creativity. Where did you, where and how and why did you lean into this idea of breaking doors down?
It all comes from that whole posture thing. You know, it's just like clients. I don't call them clients. I call them partners, because when they bring me into their world, there's a relationship that's formed. Granted, you know, they're hiring me because I possess a skill that they don't have. So that relationship is born. But never forget that they're welcoming you into something that they could welcome 10 million other people.
Yes.
So don't be all up in yourself and big in your own damn head, because you know what? You're not that special. So it's about partnership, lateral relationship, none of this client stuff. And I think that when I walk into it thinking about it like that, like if you and I are working on a project together, you would feel seen, you would feel heard.
Yeah.
Because it's your baby, and may that never be lost on me that I'm being welcomed into something that's very, very intimate.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because this isn't treadmill stuff. It's not. This is not generative AI prompts, and we'll get to that later.
Yes.
It's like, it's real. It's a virtual handshake, and those things matter because I'm here to play the long game. So when I talk about like smashing down doors, it's really about like taking that ceiling of expectation, which is becoming normal in our world, and making it the floor. And then we grab the next ceiling and we make it the floor. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
It matters. It matters because if I leave you and we're done working and people are like, man, I really dig that. And you'd be like, yo, you should be working with this cat. That's a warm introduction. That's old school. Old school is the new school.
You've been doing this for over 2 decades.
That's right.
What's changed the most about the design world since you began doing this, Scott?
I find that artists are, but I can only speak my own truth. So I'm not going to pretend I'm some pro, right? But it's about, I just seen a lot of people that they're maybe losing their focus and why they're doing it in the first place. Maybe they just got their stuff out on autopilot. So that is a lot that I've seen. I've also seen a lot of artists, creatives, let's just call them what we are. We're creatives, we're makers. There's this hunger out there for generating content all the time. So me, rather than just creating, I see a lot of other ones out there. They're like, but I also got to make sure I got my camera right, just so that way someone can see me doing my magic, because I need to entertain the masses. And what it does is it takes your eyes off the ball, and you're not focusing on why you were there in the first place, and the love that was in your heart that made it run it down the field in the first place. So I've had to learn that I have to do a few things and do them well. LinkedIn is my powerhouse. I mean, LinkedIn is my flex. I love IG. Yeah, it's great. But I mean, I just can't do the storylines and live my life like The Price is Right every day. I just can't do it. And some shit you just got to let go. And to impress somebody who may never even hire me or not, you know, you understand what I'm trying to say? So, I mean, I'm there to work. I'm there to show you stuff at the end. But in terms of the whole immersive experience and what everybody is trying to do now, I just can't pull it all off. Not pull it off well.
So we're moving into a world rapidly. It's, you know, frankly, I should probably remove that world, Jimmy. We are in a world of AI generated everything. So let's talk about what's something about handcrafted design that you lean into that people often misunderstand in today's AI saturated landscape.
I think what they're missing is they're missing that there's a human connection, right? And art, being a creative, like think about like caves, you know, caveman stuff. I mean, people like me, people like this, you know, this all existed before even language.
Yes.
And even when all of this other stuff goes away, well, it's never going to go away. But people like me, it'll still be there. If we end up on cave walls again, well, then that's where we end up. But it's really about that whole true human connection. So like when I'm dialed in, I'm working on some artwork right now for a guy out of Canada. I do all of his branding. I'm on, I don't know, my 5th design, and we've got 3 more to go after this. But when I'm on that, he is hiring me because I am doing something very, very niche. I'm niche. I'm old school. And people that really connect with that organic level of creation hunger for it. And there is a market for it, and it is alive and well. Does it look different? Yes. Do I need to adapt? Absolutely. Am I anti-AI? Absolutely not. We're using AI right now to do what we're doing. Like, it's a part of our world. But where my line is, the flag planted not moving, is the generative AI. So I am here to create by hand, and that's just how I'm going to always throw down.
This is an interesting conversation for me.
Sure.
And one that I creatively struggle with as well, because I'm a creator. I consider myself an artist.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to realize that. For the longest time, I thought I was an entrepreneur, but in reality, it was a Tony Robbins video that reminded me, like, no, actually, I'm a creator. I'm actually an artist. I enjoy leaning into being an artist.
Yeah.
Where I don't want to say I disagree with you, because that would be a stance. Where I struggle with, for guys like you and I'm a Gen Xer. I'm suspecting you're a Gen Xer. I know Rufy's a Gen Xer.
Me too.
Where I struggle with is we lean into humanity. We're more than likely selling to another Gen Xer. Because I'll be frank with you, I got no problem with AI generated stuff. I, like you, I adopt the tools, I use the tools, I make AI stuff left and right. And have I had human artists over my lifetime create stuff for me, create logos? Yes, absolutely. Can I go myself? Because I consider myself a pretty damn good creator and artist too. Not as good as you, but I'm struggling today, Fisk.
Yeah.
With sometimes wondering where that value is of the human connection when I'm going to create something.
Yeah.
And that's why I think I'm really leaning into this show and putting humanity behind it, because can there be an AI host do this? For sure. Can there be a fake person doing this? For sure. But as I'm learning with my community, the people want to connect with me as Keith Billis, the human being. And frankly, I think that's what you saw when I celebrated you, because you're like, yeah, I like this dude. This guy's a real human being.
That's right, man.
And I think that's the struggle you and I have right now, is that, I don't know how many younger generations are buying our stuff because it's like, no, I'm just okay with the AI stuff. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I can only speak to my own truth. I can tell you, yes. I'm not having that problem.
Yes.
I'm not having that problem at all.
Good.
And what this also comes down to is it comes down to a personal daily choice. Am I there to railroad AI people? No. But I'm also not here in a world where I'm ready to put everything on autopilot.
Yes.
Because listen, I'm just true talk, and we're all allowed to have our own opinions, right?
Yes.
Man? But I see it's sensationalized, industrialized, commercialized, and weaponized. And there gets to be this thing where we see it on LinkedIn, bro. I mean, I see like, let my bot chat to your bot as the human connection leaves the room, and we're all talking about hashtag authenticity. Like,
I know. I fucking laugh.
That's kind of an effing lie, man.
Well, listen.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I love this because, like, I think that there's a spot where we're all jiving right, and that's where the magic is. It's cool.
The authentic conversations. Be yourself. Be authentic. Ah, man.
Buzzword.
It's not real because people need to manufacture that.
Yeah.
Right. I think when you're authentic, you're not talking about it. I think when you're trying to be authentic, you're not trying. You are.
Yeah. So like my whole thing is there's room for everybody.
Yes.
And everybody is allowed to have their ridge they want to stand on.
Yes.
And it's not about, and it's never been about, like, if you don't agree with me, you're wrong. We have enough of that polarizing crap.
Exactly.
There's enough of that. But you know what? If I can focus with you or anybody else on the 99.9% that we have in common and quit the 0-1 rubbish, it's pretty slick, you know?
Yeah. So I got to be honest, brother. I'm thoroughly enjoying our company, and I could probably have you here for another half an hour. But my producer is like, Bill, let's look at the clock. I'm like, I see the clock.
It's good. It's good.
I'm doing a better job of keeping myself on time. So what's going to happen next, my friend, is I'm going to do a rapid fire with you. I'm going to throw some quick hitters, and then we're going to get to who you're celebrating this morning on the Creator Spotlight, so we can shine that big ass light that I put on you onto somebody else. But let's get after this, brother. What's the favorite car of all time of Scott Fisk?
64 Vista Cruiser Oldsmobile. Long all day long with the glass. Yeah, Vista Cruiser 68. Oh.
Biggest design pet peeve?
Not following through and not being well rested. Like, if you're going to show up, show up. They deserve it. They deserve your best.
You must have been loving what Suresh was saying as you're listening in the green room, because he talked so much about showing up, eh?
Yeah, man, show up. They deserve your best. They're paying for your best. You deserve your best because your name is on it at the end. So don't sell out.
Fuck, love your attitude, man. Love it, love it, love it. Morning sketch or midnight brainstorm?
Both. midnight. Because I'll sit there and I'll rehearse my day come morning.
Burning the candle at both ends, Scott Fisk. Most embarrassing song you love to jam while designing?
I don't really have one. I honestly don't. But I mean, like, okay, like, you know, maybe like Wham might come on or something because it's looping and I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that song.
There you go. There you go. And then one tool, Scott, you can't live without in your studio.
My big pen.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. That is fucking Jimmy. That is awesome, man. The simplicity of that answer is brilliant.
Yeah, no fancy rapidographs. $3 will buy you 500 of these. As long as it's connected to this can do its thing.
You heard Johnny Anderson talk about he's got an app. It's called the John Anderson Brain, and he's right. So you got your pen, you put it to the Scott Fisk brain, and magic happens. Scotty, my final one for you, brother, before we get to who we're celebrating. If you had to sum up your design philosophy in one car bumper sticker, what would it say?
Oh man, that's a good one. Keep your elbow in close because we corner tight.
Oh,
keep your elbow in at all times, man. We corner tight.
I'm curious. Are you into NASCAR?
I am. I'm into F1. I like F1 a lot more.
Yeah, I'm into racing too. I've spent my time on the circuits watching.
Go fast. Go fast. Go fast.
Yeah, and I asked because when you said stick the arms out, it just reminded me of some bumping and grinding in at other Martinsville or up in right up in.
Yeah. I mean, that's the name of my apparel brand. My apparel brand is Go Fast Apparel.
I love it. I love it. Scotty, so listen, let's do this here. I gotta find some buttons to press, and it sounds like this. So we celebrated Scott Fisk a couple weeks back in the community corner, which is why Scott's here today. And part of this is like, hey, Scott. He's like, yeah, I need you to give me the light so we can shine a light on somebody else so we can keep paying this forward. And you know what? The guy fucking showed up. Fisk was like, here's somebody. So Nation, you spend hours crafting the perfect post, and then you're lucky if your mom gives it a thumbs up. And while most creators blame the algorithm, I fucking hate creators like that. That's the algorithm. No, your content actually sucks. It's not the algorithm's fault. Your content is shitty. This guy, though, focuses on what actually works. While others chase hooks and hacks, this guy builds habits that compound. And while the rest of the feed stays surface level, Scott, this guy's out there sharing lessons that drive results. So Nation, Jimmy, I'm not throwing his name out just yet. Nation, we got somebody, that social selling dude who's built a loyal audience by posting with purpose, competing with clarity, and showing up with receipts. This guy's a 4-time founder, 2-time Ironman, and he's a proud dad. And he's here to help creators and sales pros stop guessing and start competing. The guy walks the walk. Every post is proof. Every insight is earned. He doesn't preach content theory. Scott, he lives it. Relentlessly accountable, ridiculously consistent, and dead serious about helping others win. If you're tired of shouting into the void, done blaming the algorithm, and ready to finally get clear on works, I invite you to meet this morning's Mornings in a Lab with Keith and Friends Creator Spotlight on behalf of Scott Fisk. It's Matt Williams. Yes. Scott, you nominated Matt Williams. What stands out about him, and why are we celebrating this young man today?
Man, I got to tell you, Matt, he just flipping shows up, and he's so real, and he's like even fostering like men coming up, like just role model leadership, young guys, and giving them a voice. But he really walks it. And your fella earlier with the sneaker or the sock, he had sneakers discomfort. He was with an aftermarket brand discomfort. But anyway, I just love his content. I love his energy. No lipstick on a pig. He's like just real. you know, the things that matter, and you feel like you connect with him on a solid level. I love his content. I look for it every day to see if he's posting. But yeah, man,
that's awesome.
He's it.
Scott, do you know Matt? Have you guys interacted in real life or just on the feed? It's on LinkedIn.
No, just through LinkedIn. You know, that's how we connect. And he does shout outs all the time. Like with this Jeff that's coming up through the feed, he shouts out other people all the time. He's a pay it forward dude, and you just gotta love that. I mean, that's where the rubber meets the road. It's not one of those, let me keep it all to myself. It's about, let me share it out with everybody. So maybe one day he and I will have a sit down together, or we'll have a virtual coffee through LinkedIn, whatever. I'm down with that, but I'm really glad that you picked him. He's slick. Yep. He's a good guy.
Or Matt Williams, maybe you want to join us on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends, because here's how it works. Scott Fisk nominated you, and now we took the light from Scott and we're passing it over to you, so that we can celebrate somebody in your orbit. And you know, Jimmy, it might be pretty cool if we introduce Matt Williams and Scott Fisk together on the show one day. That would be pretty fucking cool. Yeah, so Williams and Fisky are back one day with Billis. We're going to have a little conversation. But Matt, dude, I had a quick little peek at your content when Fisk dropped it into my message yesterday. I said, hey, we got to celebrate this guy. And I'm really digging your stuff as well, brother. So I'd love to have you on the show. And sitting in the spot that Scott's sitting, so we can take some time to celebrate you. And then we can continue paying this forward, because Fisk gets it. That's what life's all about. He said it best. When rubber hits the road, when we constantly pay it forward. And the fact that you guys don't know each other and the fact that you're celebrating him, man, that just brings warmth to my heart, because that's what this segment's all about, man. I appreciate that so much.
Yeah. You people we just find each other. You know, you find your people by putting it out there.
It's it. It's exactly it. Scott, how can Mornings in the Lab Nation connect with you, find you, work with you, sit down with an original artist who writes from the heart and creates from the heart and is all about discipline?
Yeah, man. Well, my main house is studio669.net. So that's like a total Gen X, man. It's not a .com.
Totally Gen X.
.net. And I'm like in the ground, man. And then the
.net, Roofy. We got a .netter.
Studio669.net. And then there's the Go Fast apparel line. And then also, like, I celebrate other creatives. Instead of AI, I've created a community called IA. You flip it. IA, I am, and IA stands for independent artist. So IAIM.mn.co.
Love it. Scotty, if you were 10 years older, you would have prefaced that by saying, yeah, it's a www. Or
www. Nah.
I had a guy on the show a couple weeks back who, I love him. I can't remember his name, but he's like, yeah, to get to my website, it's www. And I'm like, holy fuck, what is it, 1985 right now? But
yeah, man. No, it's http /www.
Scott, I just want to be grateful for a second and say thank you. You took this seriously. You when I celebrated you a couple weeks back, you leaned into it, you enjoyed it, you shared it. You took today's appearance seriously. You didn't treat this like just something that was going to happen accidentally. You didn't treat it like a hobby. I know. And I sincerely want to say how much I appreciate it, because I'll tell you, brother, not everybody shows up like you. You've talked about showing up. Not everybody shows up like you. And I'm really grateful for that, because I'm building a business here. It's not a hobby.
Yeah,
right?
No, for sure. That's right.
And, you taking it seriously means the most to me, means the most to my team. And I just want to express that gratitude to you publicly, that I really appreciate that, brother.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the opportunity and the screen time. And, this relationship is just getting started.
It is just getting started.
It is. We got a lot in common. And I look forward to unpacking that as time goes out.
Awesome. We're going to grab a coffee later today. You, me, and Maddie Roof. We're going to grab a coffee and catch up for a few minutes. I believe we're on the calendar. I'm looking forward to that. And get some after show conversation going on. But you enjoy your Friday, brother. Okay?
I will.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, Jimmy. Scott's going to leave us, and we're going to continue with the final segment of our show here. And I know we're running a few minutes overtime, Jimmy. I know we are. I got to I'm working on changing my buttons around here so I can make them go a little faster. But yes, sirree. And I'm going to get some better sound effects too. Jimmy, Scott Fisk is awesome, man. I fucking love that guy. Love him. I let me tell you why I love him. Because there's just a certain sense of serious. It just, he gets it, right? He's like, no, I get it. I'm showing up. I'm doing things properly, not half-assed, not about dicking around. It's about, no, we're going to do it properly and do it the right way. So that's what it's about. Yes, no, Jimmy, I know. We got the Substack creator and we got the creators. We got the community corner stuff. So I'm just getting my notes here, pal, so we can get after it here, brother. I gotcha. So, Jimmy, I'm going to do the Substack creator after we do this. Welcome nation to the Community Corner, where we're connecting LinkedIn and Substack on Mornings in Live with Keith and friends. It's a morning. From marathon madness to tipping drama, AI goes to family tension. It's a mix of bold moves, real talk, and stuff. We're all dealing with it. Let's get into it. All right, Jimmy, let's go to Jolin Varley on LinkedIn. Jolin spotlighted William Googe, who just ran, holy fuck. Roofie, hear this one. Roofie, ears up. This guy ran 91 marathons across Australia. What the fuck is that? That's 3,800 kilometers in 34 days. Through 35 degrees heat. Through hallucinations. Through pain. Why did he do it? For his mom. She passed away from cancer in 2018. And this run wasn't a tribute to her. No. Jolyon didn't just celebrate defeat. He captured the why behind it. And that's what hit the hardest. This wasn't about records, Jimmy. No. It was about love, grief, and the unbelievable power. The power of purpose. Yes. William Googe, I love it, man. I fucking love it. 91 marathons, 3,800 kilometers. Roofie, I haven't run that much in 53 years either, my brother. All right, let's get the next one up here. What happens when you believe that voice in your head? Mahmoud Always on LinkedIn started to post with this. I hate my voice, so I lower it. I hate my face, so I hide it. I hate my thoughts, so I don't share them. Line by line, he laid out the inner monologue so many know but never say out loud. And then what did he do? He fucking flipped it. He challenged the question. He challenged the beliefs instead of surrendering to them. And then he said something powerful. It's time to fight for our own right to live our best lives, because we absolutely deserve it. He wasn't just talking about insecurities. He was talking about identity. And what belief about yourself do you need to challenge today? I want to hear from you in the comments. What are you struggling with today? Your own mirror, your own thoughts? You know what you deserve. Fight for it. All right. Let me give you a tip. Or should I? This next one's from Harold Shacker, and it stirred the pot in the best way. He asks, should tipping really be expected, or should it be earned? From restaurants to ride shares to barbershops, Harold questions why tipping has become default instead of meaningful. He even shared a story about a driver who barely helped and then stood there waiting for a 20% tip. Fuck, Harold, I got an opinion on this one. The point wasn't to avoid generosity. It was to question when tipping stopped being a choice and became an obligation. So Mornings in the Lab, Business Athlete Performance Lab Nation, what's your take? Where do you think tipping crosses the line from appreciation to pressure? Remember, tipping is to ensure prompt service. Yeah. The idea of the tip is to ensure prompt service. Somewhere in the journey, we tipped after the service. If you're just doing your fucking job, if you're just making me a sub, if you're just pumping my tires or delivering my groceries, I'm not giving you a fucking tip. You're doing your job. So there's my opinion. If you're doing your job and asking me for a tip, I'm telling you to fuck off because you ain't earning it. There's a true story, Jimmy. I love you, baby. I see your note. All right, Jimmy, let's pivot over to Substack. The digital dead can't say no. This one comes from Christopher Lind over on Substack. I know, Chris. What's shaking, Chris? I'm a fan, brother. And it digs into the darker side of AI. AI recreations of people who died. And he asks the hard question. Is it really a tribute if they never gave consent? You guys saw us yesterday, from courtrooms to commercials. We had a guy on the show yesterday, a dead guy, delivering his victim impact statement as an AI to the guy that killed him. What? From courtrooms to commercials, people are using AI to digitally resurrect the voices and faces of those who've passed. But as Christopher points out, once someone's gone, they can't say, that's not me. I didn't want this. It's deep, it's unsettling. And it's frankly something worth talking about. Would you want to be kept alive through AI when you're gone? Or is that taking what the technology can do too far? Ask yourself, have you had the conversation with your family? Are you stuck between mom and your wife? Well, Dr. Joshua Coleman dropped a post on Substack that hit close to home for a lot of men. He broke down why some sons sometimes go quiet or walk away from their families. And one pattern stood out. When a man gets caught between his wife and his mom, loyalty gets tested. Boundaries get blurred. And instead of choosing sides, he chooses silence. Not because he doesn't care, but because no one taught him how to handle that tension without shutting down or disappearing. Who's teaching us that, gentlemen? Who's teaching us that? Have you been in that situation? I have. And how did you handle it? Guys, I want to hear from you. Drop some advice in the comments for guys who might feel stuck. Wife or mom? It's true story, you guys. It's absolutely fucking true story. All right. If you can binge Netflix, you can focus. Ha! Scott D. Clary with Shakin' Scott, I'm a fan of yours, brother. Dropped a line on Substack that flipped the whole attention span narrative. I love this one. Bringing some attitude. We don't have short attention spans. We have infinite attention for things we actually care about. Think about that one. That one sentence calls out a lot of us. We're not distracted. We're just disengaged. We'll binge a whole fucking show on Netflix. We'll scroll TikTok for an hour. But we can't sit down and focus on that one thing we claim to care about. Guys, it's not about intention. It's not about your attention. It's about your interest. About what actually matters to you. And I got to say, fellas, it's certainly something we got to think about. More importantly, maybe something we got to talk about. Do you guys agree with Scott Clary? I'm curious. I invite you to drop your thoughts in the comments. Nation, that's it for today. What story got you thinking? I'd love to hear from you in the comments. And if you want us to feature your story in the community corner, I invite you to follow me on Substack, inside.bappel.ai, and LinkedIn, and tag me or the show in your next post. All right, as we wrap up our segment here, Jimmy, if you can take the show script here for our creator and make it H1 for me, that'd be awesome, pal. And while you're doing that, I'm going to do a quick little reset because I can't see these Uncle Keith's little Uncle Keith's eyes are struggling with what I'm looking at here, pal. There you go. So, guys, let's do this. Let's get after this sound effect right over here, and it sounds just like this. What if your biggest money problem isn't financial but emotional? We don't talk enough about how trauma shapes our relationship with money. Nope. Not just how we spend, but who we believe we're worth. That silence is costing people homes, stability, the peace of mind. But one creator, Rufy, we got one creator who decided to confront the silence head on. And his voice is changing the way we define wealth. He's rewriting the emotional blueprint behind money. Keep going, Jimmy. You're getting after it, brother. 3 times award-winning Substack creator. Maddie, not once, not twice, 3 times. 3 motherfucking times. Oh, man. Do I got to read this one now? Maddie, this guy's a TEDx speaker. I'm out of here. See you guys. If you guys see my LinkedIn profile, you know what I'm talking about. He's a TEDx speaker and he's a Forbes columnist. He's named one of Business Insider's top coaches. And he's the author of Financially Irresponsible. Oh yeah, I know a few of those folks. 10 plus years in banking before launching into entrepreneurship. And he's the founder of Overcoming Financial Trauma, an entire ecosystem built to help people heal their financial wounds and reclaim power over their wallets and their well-being. Nation, let's take some time out of our day to meet today's Mornings in the Lab Creator Spotlight. It is Rakim Sabri, financial therapist, educator, and the internet's clearest voice on money and mental health. His work is reshaping how we understand financial empowerment, not as a numbers game, but a healing journey. If you've ever felt shame, fear, or confusion around money, this guy's work is for you. I invite you to go follow Rakim's newsletter on Substack, join his community, and start building wealth that feels good and does good for you. So Rakim, here's how it works, brother. I would love to have you on my show. The invite is officially open to you to join me on the community corner as part of the Creator Spotlight. Because I suspect, I'm pretty damn confident, Rakim, there's somebody to be celebrated that you want to shine the light on. Well, I'm giving you the platform to do just that. I'd love to hand you the light that I'm shining on you right now, so you can take it and we can pay this forward to celebrate somebody in your orbit on the next Creator Spotlight on the Community Corner on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Woo, baby! We did it! We did it. Wow, what a great show here today. And I'm going to do this so that we can have some stuff that sounds just like that. We got Matthew coming in with lots of good one. We'll be doing post-mortem AI advanced directives next, like we do with the life-saving medical intervention or organ donating. Yeah. Do you want to live after death? It's a legitimate question. All right, I'm playing this out with the same song that brought us in. What a great show, guys. What a great week. I appreciate all of you guys. You've heard me say it before, and I'm going to say it again. You guys all have choices. You have choices to start your day. You have choices as you go through your day. You can go listen to that over there. You can go watch that over there. You can go listen to that over there. But you guys choose to hang out with me and John and Marty. Fucking producer Jimmy too. And Suresh and Scott Fisk. Jimmy, I'm forgetting the first guy's name. It was Darren Phillips. Hey, this is live. Guys, this is live. There's no fucking around here. Darren, Suresh, and Scott. Yeah. All right. The weekend is here. You guys aren't going to see me tomorrow morning. You're not going to see me Sunday morning. But you're going to see me back here Monday morning. On the only morning show to get you guys out of bed. What's that show called? It's called Mornings in Live with Keith and Friends. Good time, Lady Drew. Jamie Newstead, I see you there in the comments. I love seeing you there, brother. I didn't see you there earlier. Thanks for showing up. Lauren, baby. Roofy. Jimmy. Appreciate all of you guys. We'll see you guys back on Monday. 8 o'clock Eastern time. Right here. Let's get out of here. Jimmy, let's go. We'll see you guys Monday. Boom, boom.